Chuck.
What's the status, 3?
I'm good, just making the world a better place, that's all.
Hurricane 313.
This a breath of the ancestors. With this time a hawk, you get your head severed. Creep up in the building, get the fair records. My Beretta was gold plated with the suppressor. Feel the pressure of heavy rates, nothing lesser. I'm the god of storms, I control the weather. So clever, you fools should know better. When I come through better until the storm shelter. Flow better, hip hop is forever. We take the government down, we write no letters. Take hold of the crime, we make the throne better. I turn this whole world into a Coachella. Pick up the pack of a pistol, pop you like pimple simple. People pack the pistols, the population of evil tremble. I resemble the revolution, no ancient temples. Haters better watch your tone, or you get dismembered. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. Cracking bottles overhead to make them wobble. Don't like the TV show, nigga, just change the channel. Genocidal, these lyrics might hold the title. Carry Bibles, mind goons, they carry rifle. Very tribal, sometimes be very primal. 8 or 15, I'm killing every rival. They say it's mediocre, cut you up into pieces and leave your body parts inside your easy sofa. Being a soldier, you see my soldiers, they creeping over. Parkour type shit, you see us sleeping over. Jack your chain, you understand, you catching hands. Kick your ass through the van, I think you dead, man. Fuck a fizzle, the fragile fickle. Feel like I got a blast at the government quicker than anybody, nigga. Split your body apart and throw you in the river. This the revolution, you gotta deal with us. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed.
The Bakushi is the master of illusion. And if everyone believes the illusion, it becomes reality. Bakushi thinks he's won the game, but he didn't count on the pinch hitter.
All is continuous vibration, always in motion. Conductor of energy, a salt in the ocean. Serpent is the sine wave, polarities interwoven. A chemical sorcery, elixirs and potions. Resonant frequencies, molecular explosions. Your daily programs is heavy doses of hypnosis. People walk around blind even though their eyes are open. No time for ideological salesmen with biblical notions. That box in your room, televised lies through your vision. It doesn't matter your race, status, or religion. No longer have to beat you when your mind is locked in prison. That food is filled with toxins, it's why you can't think clear. Illusion of choice is your option while keeping all in fear. Load up all your weaponry, the revolution is here. I said load up all your weaponry, the revolution is here.
We ain't in the same place, or occupy the same space. So get the fuck out my face.
In the instant, I changed the mission with photosynthesis. Witness the synthesis, rip it endless on instruments. Feel the frequency, energy off this Hennessy synergy. Literally those that take us to infinity. Reading articles, all is horrible, calling audibles. I'm remarkable, I shot a fed at a carnival. Dust and particles, follicles gon' be everywhere. Heavy pair of some pistols, I shot them holding that teddy bear. Fuck the system, let's keep it simple, let's raise the temple. Make them triple while you're going to where they all assemble. Not Avengers, I'm the Avenger, I seek the engine. Kept my temper till I stuck the hidden blade up in her. Fuck the ruler, here's what they doing to you. Poison water in the food is what you put into you. I'm the shooter with new maneuvers. Cop back to Ruger, super trooper. He is gonna need a pooper scooper. The revenge of Montezuma. Rocking my Pumas, uppercut like a Kuma, sending you straight to Luna. Cosmic verses from universes on new excursions, emerging the virgin. I'm pulling back the iron curtain. War leaders are war eaters, born cheaters, war sneakers, rearrange their core features. Born reaper, hurricane, the sword keeper, form ether, burn all of the mold geezers. Up in government, parliament, bitch, I'm tarnishing arguments, ain't no bargaining, throw a bomb in the audience. I'm the guardian, strand you all in the cardigan, rearrange the universe, I am the artisan.
We ain't in the same place, or occupy the same space. So get the fuck out my face.
As a king, fighting the spirit of Mesa King, vibing to my queen, playing the tambourine, while I'm eating the tangerine. My plasma was replaced with gasoline, got the blood of the Elohim, manifesting through a dream, a shit you never seen. I got the eyes of Medusa, and the hands of Wolverines, astral project with my inner being. We locked in the inner ring, hoping the Anunnaki intervene. While the world is under siege, they got an abyss under the sea, living underneath. Lightning struck me standing under a tree while I was crumbling weed, and an angel swooped down, put me under her wing. Now she shields me from my desires the devil brings. Say my name in vain and you will never bleed. Say my name in vain and you will never bleed.
The Bakushi is the master of illusion. And if everyone believes the illusion, it becomes reality.
He said the Pakuchi. Think I heard that correct. The Pakuchi. Has anyone seen the Pakuchi? That's the funniest laugh ever. Anyway. Shout out to Dom. Thanks to Dom, Paula, Paula Nitz, Dom, In the Groove, or AKA Groove, and who else came up yesterday? Boji, and man, every time I get new people that come up, they disappear and never come back. People like MacGyver and a few others. Not all of them, but some of them. Let me wait for my computer to warm up. Who's seen that bet people had with Sam Darnold for the Seahawks? It was a bet that was on the thing that if Sam Darnold rushes for over 5.5 yards, you can win the bet. You know, I guess it goes by, I have never betted with that, but I guess it goes by the amount you're betting. So people were betting, and sure enough, he runs for 11 yards. Fourth quarter comes around, time's ticking, they got the lead, people are like, word, I'm about to win this bet. Motherfucker gets a sack. And it looks so fixed. Like, they didn't want to pay out, so they're like, bro, you better get this. I forgot how many yards he lost, but it was a half yard below the 5.5. So he lost about 6 yards, maybe 5 or 6 yards, and the people lost the bet. Because I forgot if they get sacked, they lose yards in the rushing. It subtracts from it. So yeah, they fuck those people over. And that's the thing of how gambling has completely swallowed. Pause, bro. Pause, man. And it's completely swallowed sports. The Patriots should have steamrolled the fucking Seahawks. But I kind of knew they were going to lose when Bill Belichick didn't get in the Hall of Fame. Are you fucking kidding me? You know, one of the best coaches, allegedly, like, whatever. People forget the Super Bowl he won with the Giants, too. When he was a coach for the Giants in the 80s. But, and Drake's made his face, man. He looked like, I'm a sellout. That's the look he had on his face. I wonder how much they offer people to sell out, or if you even have a choice. Coach would be like, throw an interception. That I couldn't do it. That would be heartbreaking. I would feel like such a loser. No matter how much I'm getting paid. But that's what you sign up for. I knew the Patriots would face the Seahawks. And I knew they're a good team, but like I said, when Belichick didn't get in, that was odd to me. It's kind of like a sign. But when Drake May hurt his throwing shoulder, right after the game, they put it out there. Right after the Patriots beat the Broncos, here's an article that said Drake May hurts his shoulder. I said, oh. Just like with the Celtics, Jason Tatum all of a sudden hurt his hamstring. And that was the same night that dude from the Pacers. Oh, no, he did that. But either way, that's another tactic they use. The star player gets hurt. Ain't that hard to fake it. Just lay down and be like, oh. But anyway.
Morning, Charles.
What's up, Dom?
Just hanging out with you today, doing some laundry. More speculations? Okay, I guess that's what we can do.
The word laundry comes from hanging your clothes up over the lawn on a thing to dry.
That's a great explanation. Thank you, Charles.
I just thought of that.
No, there's some sense to that. Over laundry to dry. Makes sense. So I guess when it comes to, as you were talking about the Super Bowl or whether New England should have won or not, they have to openly report, whether they're true or not, injury reports. And that plays probably a role when people are betting.
Mm. And I see like a what's the word I want to use? Not a coincidence. I see a
Patterns?
common occurring.
Maybe some
You
patterns.
know,
No patterns.
yeah, patterns. And it's just common every year in the playoffs. It don't matter if it's baseball. Well, I see it mostly in football and basketball. You know, I thought last year the Celtics could have taken the whole thing. So they had to get Tatum out of there, their best scorer. Like when you look at it, it don't even look like he hurt his fucking. I don't know, whatever. Either way, if it's real or not.
He's been out all year for Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's a business. It's like WWE, and if you have stats, you know, whether it's player stats, business stats, they can determine who they want to, you know, be more favorable to win and opposed to lose.
That's detrimental, though. Like someone like me who loves the sport, if the coach, you know, I highly doubt everyone knows, or maybe they do. Maybe it's a scripted event, and now players are cool with playing scripts because that's why they're paying them all this money, I guess. But you either shut the fuck up and do what you're told to get that money, or leave.
Well, there's that old saying, "It's above my pay wage." You know, so whether you're a politician, I'll use just different examples, politician, a cop, or whatever, and then you start doing some digging, and then you find out how the system kind of really works, all those little dirty little secrets, and then you realize what a fool they've been, but they're so into it now, meaning that they made it a career. You know, what would a politician that really thinks he's there to help the citizens and then find out the system is not set up that way? He'd realize, oh, then I've been naive the whole time. I said, yeah, they allow those people to exist to give the citizens the opportunity to think, oh, this is real. Yeah, it's real to a certain point.
And I learned something from Shaq years ago. He was in an interview. He kind of like slipped it in there. That's when I learned you're the LLC. He said, when I got paid, the first thing I did was put my name under an LLC.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hired my mother and my father and my family to work in my company. Mm-hmm. And then he said he puts them on his payroll. And I said, damn, what a gem. I bet you that went over most people's head. He was like basically giving game right there.
Well, he openly admit years later, if it wasn't already announced, he's a club member. So yeah. I'm pretty sure, you know, a lot of these clubs, it's about business. It's networking, teaching how the system works.
Shaq's open about it. He's got the ring. He's got pictures on the internet in his apron. He don't care.
Well, it's not a matter he cares. No, he does care. He cares to acknowledge himself as a member. And then there's probably people above him that say he's one of ours. He's behaving appropriately.
That's our bitch.
Well, you can call him the bitch. Sure. Yeah, I guess so. No. But that's a valid statement. No, it's a valid statement, Charles. You can use any words to describe when somebody has a ruler over them or a lord, and how many people, you know, what's going through my head right now is monarchies. You have people that work for, that are staff, that work for monarchy for a lifetime. And it's a full-time career. And if they're well-behaved and know their place in that system, their kids have an opportunity. That's why they acknowledge them as lords. You're my lord. You're my ruler. Whether those people like it or not, they make sure publicly you give the courtesy and make sure you bow. And even other people do that among themselves. The different types of people that they call the elite. There's rules and regulations and everything, Charles. I mean, you start playing basketball, and all of a sudden we're having a good time, and then we're going to play, you know, we're playing 3-on-3, and then a bunch of guys come on the court and say, listen, we're going to play you next, but, you know, we're packing. What do you mean you're packing? We're packing guns. Oh, so you're trying to say you want to win? Oh, no. We're not saying we want to win. We're going to win. Okay.
You know what I was thinking? You know, in comics, I used to look at like Superman
and Batman. Well, I'll say Superman and like Wonder Woman as the good guys. But as I got older, I started to realize Catwoman, Superman. I think Batman I'll put in there too. Work for the government. The real good guys are the Joker, people that they think look evil. And I started to think, God damn it, they do the same thing with the Bible. It's always opposite with these people. They flip it around.
Charles, when I used to, and I still do once, when you watch those movies with Superman or Batman, and they're usually totally always going through like Gotham City, for example, both of them, the villain and the hero that people call, they're both going around the city destroying it.
Oh, no.
And then, of course,
that wouldn't fly in real life.
Well, no, it does happen in real life. I'll give you the example how it happens in real life, where as much as it looks like both of them are fighting each other, but they're destroying a city so that eventually it'll be more make work. So in a way, they're both working for the same industry.
That's a good point.
So now think about when you have America or whatever country go to another country and start bombing them. This is why they have, America saying to a lot of the G8, Britain or Canada, for example, or Spain.
But that government agrees on it too. People don't even realize that.
They have to.
The place they're bombing, that government already said, okay, U.S., go ahead.
Yeah, they have to. Well, they've spent a lot of money, future taxpayers' money, to build all these submarines, these planes, these bombs. They always make it a point to talk about how much each of those bombs cost. And then they ask countries like America and Britain, you're going to come to war with us, right? We don't want your whole thing. We want a couple of years. Why? Because if we're going to a country and once we bomb it, we have contracts to rebuild the city. And if you guys don't join us, none of your companies are going to come with us. So it's business as usual. Now, they might turn around and say, well, but you're killing people. Well, what do you think they used to do in the old days? Let's do our harvest first and then get a bunch of warriors to fight each other on some neutral piece of land that we can just do bloodletting. And then we depopulate it, and then we're going to tell everybody else to fuck each other and reproduce more kids. Charles, you've played video games, obviously, Charles. So when you're playing video games, can you imagine if all of it? Okay, you've heard about people playing video games. I've played video games.
I used to play it a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so each of these video games, there's characters in there. Can you imagine if those characters become conscious and they say, well, who's killing us? Well, you're just an NPC character. Yeah. And then they can turn around and, well, who's the god? The god is the guy with the remote control.
So that's us.
But are we the gods, or are we just kind of the middle version, and then somebody gave us the video game to play with?
Well, I think we're just an extension of this source, of this energy.
I'm with you on that, Charles.
I think maybe we're the source having an experience. Maybe the source is having thousands and millions of experiences at once.
Mm-hmm. Well, think of AI, for example, what they call AI. I don't really value it called AI, but since a lot of people call that AI, it's able to take in all kinds of information that we can call experiences. And it could be anywhere at any given moment. So why wouldn't it be any difference if there was Archangel Michael or some sort of God, Satan, Lucifer, whatever? At that point, we can speculate, and I enjoy when you use the word speculate, because you get those characters that say, well, Dominic, you can't prove that. I said, well, where's air? You've been sucking up air for your whole existence. Where is it? Well, I don't know. Where's thoughts? Just because you speak and you read things, where's thoughts? I don't know. But yet you want to know where the gods are. Maybe they're inside. What do you mean? Well, you breathe in air, don't you? And thoughts supposed to be reside from within oneself, so they say. So maybe God's within you too. And he's quiet. He's silent. He doesn't need to see himself. He's not insecure. Again, I'm speculating, Charles.
I wonder what the first person thought that looked into water and seen their face.
Yeah, they probably became, what's that one, vanity, the vanity guy or what?
The pseudo man is in the building.
Hey, TZ.
What's up, Dom? My new name is the pseudo killer. I kill all food. I stomp out all food. I stomp out all fallacious claims, fallacious statements. That's my new. That's a new agenda.
You gotta come with that pseudo judo, or no, judo
Yeah,
pseudo.
bro. Boji was just on my panel, and he was talking about
Oh.
Neuralink, and he made it seem like he was telling me the street porn at first. I said, bro, I said, you do know Neuralink is for these people that's like in a vegetable like state. People that's you know that's decrepit, so they're using this Neuralink, say they can use their eyes to control the damn the cursor on the screen and shit like that. So that's low key a positive. But then again, I told them it could be a detriment. So they said if there are 21 people that's Neuralink as of now. But like I told them, every civilization becomes technically advanced. So it comes with when these like we're becoming more technically sound. So it can be a detriment. It can be a positive. I just don't get the fact that these guys come up on these panels and they're selling this shit as spirit porn. It's all spookism.
Well, you know, TZ. It's called. You know what it is. It's the telephone effect. You tell one story, the person deviates from how it originally was presented in some sort of meeting or some sort of convention, and then they take it and they always think something's hideous, which it could be. But yeah, Neuralink is exactly the way you described it. That's how they're presenting it, and maybe that's what they're using it for.
But then again, it could be a negative. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, a lot of these guys, and I told them, it's out to Boji. Boji's a good dude, man. But he's talking about like information and stuff like that. I was like, okay, where does this information come from? So you got to go within the cosmos, go within inside of yourself. It's in your DNA. I said, okay, if you're saying that the information is inside of your DNA and it comes from your ancestors, why do you have to watch videos to get some type of edification or some type of information about the spiritual world? That's what I'm saying. None of this shit makes sense to me. Some of the shit that people be saying, like, none of this shit, it makes sense, but it don't make sense. It's like they'll say one thing as a catchphrase, and that's that. They say the cosmos is within, and that's that. That's it. They want to expound or elaborate, then that's that. Like, what do you mean by that? And when you ask these people to elaborate, they start glitching. They can't really articulate what they just conveyed to you. That's like yesterday when I was talking to some Christians on the street. I said, "Who is your God saved?" I said, "Who is your God? What is your God?" They couldn't answer the question. This is all simplistic shit, basic shit. So I asked these people on these panels the same thing. I asked these born again Christians the same things to be on these goddamn panels. These guys they be on my panels too. Like, I mean, somebody can believe what they want to believe, man. Really. If you're gonna say something, man, you got to make it make sense.
Well, I get the sense part you're talking about when we bring it down into the material. So like the Neuralink that you were talking about, and then you kind of elaborated to the gods. Where the technology came from, I don't know. I could speculate at that point. But how they're going to use the technology, then we can use our senses. It's like the concept of God. Where God is or who God is, I could speculate. If we're going to start talking about the sun and the moon, at that point we can use our senses. We could use the word God and say, well, maybe a thing called God created it. I don't know. I just know humans haven't created it. So now I can use my senses. This is where, literally when we're talking about our senses, what can I see, touch, taste, and all that? I can smell air, but I don't know where the word is. So I can use my sense to a certain point. But when people start talking about God, Satan and all that, at that point I have to turn on my speculation hat on. I can only speculate. It's usually the guy that says I can prove it. I say, okay, I need to get some popcorn first. Why? Because this might be entertainment.
All this shit in the man. All this shit's recorded. But I see Mommy Trula in the chat. Mommy Trula, you've been virtually homeless. The shit show ain't been going live like that. You've been virtually homeless for a long time, right? I got a home for you. You know all the shit shows. K-Dub, Zay, Trip, who else? Chief 18 Wheels, Loyal, all them over there with me now. You know that, right?
Where the body go?
You see what happens when you pick sides when content creators beef with one another. You never know who might just end up being with Kate Valley. All them my co-hosts now. Valley, K-Dub, all them shit show niggas over there. They be co-hosting my show with me now.
TZ, where did Bobby go?
I talked to Bobby last week on Shoe Butters Coming. He's still around. I think he went live yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just not going live as much. So a lot of the people that was on the shit show over there with him, they co-hosted my show with me now. I got K Dub co-hosting my show.
Wasn't
I
he
got
helping?
Valley,
Wasn't he helping?
all these people from the shit still co-hosting my show with me.
Wasn't he
Then a
helping?
lot of people that was talking about me over there with me now. But we always been good. But I never really had no beef, no real problems with any of those people that I mentioned. The relationship between me and Bobby, you know, that's why I tell people you should never pick sides when content creators are going back and forth with one another, because you never know we might be good again.
Yeah, it's like two
Ain't
cats.
like we have personal beef, like the way I hate the guy, he hate me, or anybody from over like Zay, anybody from over there hates me, because we've been rocking with each other.
Well, it's kind of like gang rap or whatever. You know, you're rapping, it's like boxing, but at the end, you're going to respect each other, realizing we both did our part. The fans, if they want to pick a side, that no problem. As long as you pay, you can pick a side.
At the end of the day, we entertain the people, but a lot of people, these people, they take this shit serious, and they think that we really at odds with one another. Nah, man. Like, if I see the dude around, we still have a conversation. Like I said, I see them last week on Cuba the time I talk to them. So, ain't no the real thing. Ain't no the real shit. Take care of your family, man. Do what you got to do. Because at the end of the day, we content creators. We making money from this shit. He's monetized. I'm monetized. We in the game. We in the game to make money from this shit. To entertain people and make money.
It's about business. I get it. That's why two people go in a ring. They might be buddies. They might even hate each other, but we're both getting paid, right? You know, regardless of the fans, most of the fans, you know, they're not doing it for free either. They're paying too. So, you know, and YouTube would be another.
All them people humbling, all them people from the shit show over there with me now. Ain't that crazy how shit changes, man?
Well, you have to move to a different club, right? Eventually move from club to club.
Shit show.
Yeah, Mommy Chula used to be over there all the time, and she try to make it to where she try to make his beef her beef. And I'm trying to tell these people, hey man, if you're gonna be in the chat, you can't really be picking sides, man, because you never know how the energy might change. You never know. I might end up becoming cool with all these people that used to be in his chat.
Well, you've seen it too. Yeah, TZ, you've seen being a chef, how people, you know, they go from one restaurant to another, regardless if the food's good or not.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's the same idea.
That's all love, though, man. I ain't got no problem with that. But yeah, man, I just want to come up here and talk about that, man. A lot of these motherfucking
nobody here.
I'm gonna ask you a question, Charles, and I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here. I gotta head back to the crib. The Crispy. I'm gonna ask you something real quick, dog. A lot of the stuff that these people say, do you be thinking to yourself like, man, what the hell did he just say? They don't make no sense.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm saying a lot of the shit that these woke, conscious, spiritual people say.
A lot of it I don't agree with, but I just feel like I'm not in a place to debate or tell somebody how to see something.
I'm debating. I'm challenging everything. Anything that's malarkey is getting challenged. I thought I made it when I went on my spiritual path. I thought I had it all figured out, but just couldn't find out I was a born again Christian all over again.
I don't know shit.
I gotta get up out of here. Y'all be easy. All right, salute. I'm going.
All right, Tucson. All the answers I'm looking for, the only way to get the answers is to go in person. You know?
Well, those are valuable things that TZ is saying. You know, if you're going into a conversation and you're talking about something that I can use my senses, that's one type of conversation. If people want to talk about, you know, spiritual stuff, you got to put on a different hat. Because if not, you're going to hear words like that. That doesn't make any sense. Well, this is not about making sense. This is speculation to a certain point, or a belief, which is another version of it, or an ideal. Like I can't prove, you know, if somebody said, Dom, do you know how Wi-Fi came to be? No, I can't. I could point to something, okay, well, this guy says he's the one that actually made Wi-Fi. Okay, but how did it come to be? I don't know. At that point, I can only believe, and then they'll tell me a story. The military did. Okay. That's why I say jokingly, you know, I've said before, I'm the observer, because I can be it at any given moment. I can also say I'm the believer. You know, I'm a believer. It's easy to be an atheist or a Christian because I just have to say the word. I am a Christian. But they're not.
A lot of times it's best to be the observer. I've learned in life through trial and error, whenever you pick a side, you're also adopting all them problems that come along with it.
They can be, but if you're in that moment, then you realize I can play all those parts. I could be the atheist in that moment and I have a conversation with a bunch of atheists. And the next moment, I could be talking to a bunch of people and say, Dom, we're humanists. Okay, I'm going to be a humanist now. You know, I'm in that moment. I'm literally in that moment and I'm playing parts. Yeah, but Dom, who are you? I said, I've seen for that before. I don't know who I am. Go ahead, Joe.
My point is, sometimes it's better to not pick a side at all and just listen to both sides.
Yeah, I'm with you. Always hearing other people. I use the word hearing opposed to listening because I'm always listening inwards. But to hear other people out, you know, because if not, then people are going to judge. So I'll give you an example. I'm sharing something, and all of a sudden somebody has to ask me to politely or just interrupt me so they can say, Dom, I agree. I said, I don't judge, but it seems like you judge. You know, I won't interrupt somebody so I can put like a stamp on and say, I agree. It might resonate with me. Or I might say with you, Charles, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on it. I'm not going to grab a flag or nothing. But people don't realize, but that's a judgment, which is okay. But it's usually the person that says, Dom, I don't judge. I said, are you sure you don't judge? You know, privately we might judge, but publicly, how does it serve? You know, are we going to start culting up with each other? I'm a Christian. Okay, so Dom, so you're a Christian too. Okay, now at that point I can ask a whole bunch of questions. So, and they can ask questions too. The only difference is I'm going to be speculating. They might actually believe in what they're talking about. Oh yeah, well there's Jesus. Okay, have you ever met Jesus? I'll only ask that question if I'm a little bit into the club. You know, have you ever met Jesus? Well, no, Dom, I've never met Jesus before. Okay, so how do you know he wrote that stuff? Well, it's in the Bible. And that's not the question I asked. How do you know he wrote that stuff? Well, I don't know. So then you believe in a guy named Jesus. Okay. I'm not going to attack him at that point. There's nothing to attack. You know, that's why in the old days, people used to say shit like friend or foe. So they know whether or not, am I going to hug you or am I going to reach down for my guns or my swords? Because you want to have a fair fight. You don't want to be one of these clever people. Yeah, we're friends. And then when they turn around, you stab them in the back. That's a dishonor at that point. It'd be different, Charles, if your channel was a debating channel, even though people do come up here and they debate or they argue with each other or they so desperately want to put somebody in a headlock and say, do you give? Do you give? I said, I didn't realize we were fighting. You know, for you, I've heard you before. You discreetly, whether you have something else to do and you come back and say, okay, so what's going on here? You're giving people the benefit of the doubt that they're going to eventually squash it.
Yeah, that's exactly why I would do it. But sometimes it's annoying.
It is, especially when it's your channel. Yeah.
Like to me, you could challenge anyone's information. It don't matter what angle if you technically just wanted to be a dick, you could challenge everything, everyone. There's always, if you really want to be a dick, or so like you said, some people love debating. If someone it's like the word debate. It's like someone's fishing and shit.
Yeah, they're being clever. They're debating for the sake of debating. And they're not doing a structured debate, which are beautiful things to be involved in, whether you're just in the audience or you're two people that are going to say, listen, I'm not going to move from my position, but I'm going to explain my position. And the other person does the same thing. And then everybody else around them said, I learned something new today. Opposed to
debating, right? But sometimes, you know, it depends who you're debating, because sometimes it's like fucking battling with rhymes. Some people just can't. They can't take the battle. You know.
Yeah, some people are just debating it in.
Yeah, and they take it to the heart, and then it leads to fighting. And
well, at that point, you have good judges. Then you have probably rappers themselves that rap, and they figure we're going to judge. Because the two people that are doing it, unless you say, listen, we're going to throw two swords in a ring, fight to the death, most people aren't willing to do that. So if somebody, if somebody really wants to debate and say, listen, I have to give a W, I better be getting paid for this. What do you mean? Because it doesn't serve me. Like, I get it. A lot of people are bored. They come online, and we can speculate about a whole bunch of things. But if they really want to debate, go to those channels where they have professional fucking debaters, like really, really professional. They know what they're talking about. You know, but most people are hack criminals. You know, I admire a guy that's a real criminal. But the guy that's just a hack and say, listen, I'm desperate and I want to fucking rob a 7-Eleven. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to be surprised when the cop says, oh, nickel and dime guy again. I gotta bring him in. I got to do all this paperwork on this nickel and dime guy. He's going to tell me some story now. I really needed the money. I said, okay, that's nice.
Well, when I was in college, the English 102 class was about debate. It's about writing debate essays. And what you get graded on is you can't make any assumptions, right? And when you're given a point of view on some topic, you have to debate both sides yourself first. And you can't use any assumptions. You can't use any fallacy logic. No straw man, none of that. False dichotomy. So once you do that, you need to get two people to debate who have both looked at both sides to that degree on their own, right? They've already had the debate with themselves. And then you get those two people together and you can have a real conversation and get to some deeper understanding than just one person picking one side and arguing it and the other person picking another one. You know what I'm saying?
Very true. It's no different when people practice sword fighting. They want to see what level they're at. So then they probably match up with somebody else that they've said, okay, I'm at this level of sword fighting. We're not fighting to the death. We're just
using a lot of assumptions.
Yeah, you know, but it's just, you know, a person doesn't know how to debate when they start doing name calling. That's not debating. That's just a guy that's listening. Maybe you should get some pop and go up in your room. Why? Because it sounds like you're.
That's not debating. That's fucking degrading.
Yeah, that's a good word, Charles. I like that one. Degrading. You know, win at any expense, but yet let's not fight to the death. Okay, well then you're not doing that at any expense. If they want to do that kind of stuff, but I'm with you in the groove on that. Where you know you can't make an assumption. This is why people say that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. What if you're out somewhere, like on a train or just standing on a sidewalk, and you see some stranger, right? And you just spark up a conversation. And then you get to the point you're like, you know what? What are you about? What works for you in life? And they tell you some story. You know, they might say, hey, you know, I'm a Christian, and one day I met somebody, and we went into business, and now we run a something business where we help out, you know, something. Just had some incredible story, right? At what point would you want to just argue and debate everybody and say, oh, are you a Christian? You really believe in that shit? Right? Or would you look at this person and say, well, that's cool. Whatever works for you seems to work for you. So why would I debate that unless you want to engage me in questioning my way of doing things? Then we can feel free to question each other's. You know what I mean?
That's right.
But other than that, whatever works for one person doesn't have to work for somebody else, and vice versa.
Don't everyone got their own opinion?
That's
you don't want one thinking your whole life, bro.
With the Charles, man.
Which is your own mind.
I gotta mute up, bro.
Other men all in your donkey. Like, hey, let me insert my doctrine. Like,
Right, bro. Right, bro.
I don't got a doctrine. He got a coctrine.
I'm saying the same thing. You know, when you go to the club and you have a one night stand, you'll pull it to the dock.
Mm.
Oh,
the doctrine, yeah, the doctrine, yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about the same thing.
Look at this artist, man, that did these drawings. I mean, what the fuck?
That's beautiful, but he probably think it to create somehow some kind of water dam. You know what I mean?
And you know what's crazy? If you get these paintings in good pixel, when you zoom in, there's people. He had some painting of the bridge that me and
Mm.
Max was looking at, and you could see people walking in the bridge. I still got that. Some of these
That's a
paintings
picture.
are amazing. I mean, not paintings, drawings, huh?
That was a drawing. The one before that one.
That's a drawing.
Yeah, they're all drawings, all of these. I'm
Okay.
just trying to find ones I want to keep for a backdrop. I think I might keep this one. And then this one. See, but the whole bottom don't show up.
You know,
You can't
that
adjust it either. That's what
you see
sucks.
you see this look. This is how the train station in Kyrgyzstan looks like.
And in New York. And in Chicago, I think. No, I know New York for sure looks. But
I got you.
there used to be a Penn Station, I think was they knocked it down. But man, Penn Station before they knocked it down, amazing stuff.
They always depict things somehow, some kind of mythical creature. You know what I mean? Somehow, some kind of symbolism that they try to, or they just flexing back in the days where they are a way better artist than we are now. Everyone now are just using words, but nobody could really do work. That's the sad part about in this generation, bro. All words, no work.
True.
Understand how to spell.
There's so much word that's going around, but none really, have done. You know what I mean? The group of person that really did something in the United States is the group of men, 1947, and they become a government, a U.S. Air Force. You see? They didn't even protest, no nothing. They just did something as a man. They did the last attack in the B-2 bomber in, you know what I mean, to one of the nukes. See, those type of men we're looking and to do really something. But this generation of men, it doesn't matter what they protest. They all of this yelling on the street. They just making noise, no action. It's sad, bro.
It's obvious that everyone turning strange. Yeah.
So when it comes to really a man during this time and age, back in the days, and art, a man now, I don't know, bro. I feel like I cannot even point to any no more man in this generation, bro.
They start getting rapped to. Other men start rapping to them. Everybody started turning strange.
It's sad, bro. I mean, I guess the programming too, bro. But because now, especially in the United States, right? All of the man is programmed to become a half of the man, not a full man.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They call it rapping.
Everybody living off of the 50% of somebody. That's sad.
In the 90s, men would talk to women, they would call it rapping to them. So a lot of men being rapped to by other men. I know they might not want to see it that way. Like serenade, when a man would be at the bottom of the window serenading a woman. That's what the rappers do. They serenade. They rap to them.
So are we a product of all the generation of conditioning then at this point?
Yeah.
Bad, bro. Bad. Whoever started it, whoever dominated it and tried to push the agenda of they're trying to push, sad, bro.
Yeah,
it probably is. It
it's
can be
sad.
Yeah.
But whoever, if they wanted to point finger backwards, those group was twisted, bro.
Yeah, I mean, look at the whole RuPaul thing. The whole
RuPaul, that's hilarious.
The inverted gender thing is what kicked off this whole That was back in 2014. That was like the first thing that really divided the I don't know what you call that. Identity politics. That was definitely the first hardcore one.
Well, those are another side effect, but
Whoa.
the conditioning I'm talking about. Sorry,
Whoa.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
The effect that's right now that it's happening, bro. But I feel like everyone are moving on the 50% mode.
Probably more, but again, the
Less,
condition.
probably maybe less. I think women now are more towards going for the golden amen at the moment as we speak. All right, as we speak in 2026.
As you get away further from nature, you become more conditioned. So how many people have not gone to a grocery store or have a car or use technology? That's all the conditioning. Just talking about whether or not they're trying to get the same sex to have sex, that's depopulation. That's all that is. That's a different version of conditioning. So most of us, as we're using technology right now, we've been conditioned. It's not like as though, hey guys, I got to leave now because I got to cut some wood up and I'm going to build my house tomorrow, or I'm going to feed my chickens. Anybody here doing that? Maybe they are. But you're the few in number at that point. That's the conditioning. So what men now are entrained, regardless if it's the women or whatever.
Go ahead, bro. Well, entrained to who? My bad, bro.
To the system, to the civilized system.
To lose. Is man? Are we letting the society control for the man to lose?
Loose. I'm with you on the loose, yeah.
Right. I feel like right now, as we're looking out and we look into reality,
to lose, you said?
A lot of these guys are losing, bro. I feel so.
Oh yeah,
sad.
Are you saying
it's all about design? Yeah, bro.
Losing in life, bro. Losing in life. Yeah, in reality.
I thought you were talking about loosh. Loosh is another version of conditioning, but yes.
Right.
To lose, yeah, bro. I get it.
Because they are now so in depth into this conditioning that you say that now they don't know what to do.
But our forefathers were being conditioned too. When they brought in the mechanical devices, to do the farming and all that, it was no longer about manpower. And again, the reason why it's working in this age, and I have to say the word working, is because it's a different age. Without the age that we're in, it wouldn't work. Technology wouldn't work the way it is. Previous ages, they had to teach writing, reading. So at this point,
guess everybody have to go back to our OTC, bro, and just go back to the basic.
It's nice to say that, Bucci, and I'm with you, but how many people would give up all their comforts? You can open up the gate, let them out, but most of them will come back.
Which is full. Full, right?
That's why,
when the fruit go bad, it go bad. Like it ain't going bad, they going full.
Yeah, and then it can go back into seed, and then few of them will survive. I get that.
I think the difference is I don't think most of them would go back if they fucking did it. If they said, you know what, I'm gonna get off grid and do the hard thing or whatever. I think if they did it, they would more than likely stick with it. Most of them. But the problem is they wouldn't even try it. They'll never even leave the fucking comfort. It's so
people can do it.
So yeah.
I'm with you on that. But the thing is, it would have to be generation then. Somebody would say, it's like, think about when they do wars. It takes generation to correct that. As much as people say, something, I'm just going to go right back and do my farming and all that. No, you're damaged at that point.
I mean, check this out. We know how trends go, right? What if the next new trend is everybody's like bass fishing and shit, right? So everybody's like hooked on fishing, and then all of a sudden a bunch of people are out fishing in ponds and shit. You never know, bro. Anything could.
It's on the next trend. You're right.
Yeah, you never know, bro. I'm telling you. Everything old becomes new again, bro. Like I've seen cycles happen so many times with this music thing. I thought certain things are gonna die out. It was so small at one point, and dude, it's more popular than ever now. You know what I mean? So.
Like, who's to say that farming and hunting was not also another conditioning? So once you realize it's conditioning, then we're doing a different version of conditioning. Like I said, is this a matter of talking to your buddies and say, listen, would you give up and just become a farmer or a nomad?
Nomad.
If they're being honest. Most people aren't going to be honest. They're going to quickly say, you know, something as they're buying a lottery ticket or going to the casino or going to somebody's grocery store. So now let me ask you, would you give all that up? Most people say, why? Now you want a philosophy question.
Not a lot of people can, bro. Not a lot of people.
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
They already is so deep in the programming that it's not part of them. It's who they are now.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what does rattle them though. When they hear these Klaus Schwab type motherfuckers get up there and they hear a little sound clip of them saying, we're gonna have you on a digital currency and you ain't gonna be able to buy meat. Now they hear that shit and they don't like it.
And you know the thing is, the reason why he says that, he's talking to his people. He doesn't give a shit about the citizens. The ideal of you're gonna own nothing and be happy. First of all, you don't own anything. The hard part is gonna be happy. He's talking to his people in the group. He's not talking to us. We're just listening to it and say, well, I'm trying to make sense of that. He's talking to his club members. They're using the
out in the
media.
open, that's what I'm saying. And when normies hear that shit and they're sitting there going to work, it's all about so they can go to the grocery store and they can get their nails done and they can get laid on the weekends at the club and shit. That's what it's all about. So when they hear somebody threatening that shit like they've been doing lately, the normies hear that shit and they are getting rattled by it.
Like we all got involved. We were born in that system. We saw what happened in 2019 and 2021. You saw what happened. They openly revealed what they own, and the citizens, they were more concerned whether or not they're going to get a job or not. They were concerned whether or not to wear a mask or not. They weren't understanding that. Oh, wait a second here.
But next thing you know, everyone are masking up. Everyone's stuck at the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and a lot of people.
That's crazy.
A lot of people ain't forgot that, bro. It's we ain't had the COVID conversation here in the States, bro. It's been hush hush, and everybody's been trying to forget about it. But no, it's.
I mean, but because in the U.S., you know what I mean, they stealing the money of the people. You know what I mean? For example, Pentagon, you know, failed the 8th consecutive audit. You know what I mean? They couldn't account for like $8 trillion. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Put all that aside. They prior to talking about that, they were talking about America's against Russia. The Muslims are against the Christians. But during that time, they're all buddies now. Come on, they revealed it's all a fucking scam. All of it.
My brother, but because the moment that we hold the Venezuela and they pushing 280 tons of cocaine, of course Russia will gonna be buddies.
Sure they are. We know that.
You know what I mean? They want it. Come on, bro. It's all about that. Everyone are like we cannot say that nobody. This cocaine go into every single table in California, bro. Even probably this my brother right here, right next to me. He went into the place inside the home, and they are all snoring this type of stuff.
Yes, but what I'm saying is
80 tons of cocaine goes to Southern California, bro. It's insane amount of money.
Okay, but I'm trying to share with you what you're up against. You know that. Indigru knows that. Probably even Yahweh and Charles knows that. But the masses don't. They're your enemy at that point. Not the elite, not the ones that are trying to help each other become aware. The masses are in the billions. They're asleep, and they're running the fucking system. And if you understand energy, that energy goes there first. We're the ones that might be. I'm more of a hypocrite, but we would be more of a virus to the system. It's not going to move for us. That's what I'm saying. When
I was just saying, but because we could feel it, though, my brother. You know what I mean? From like early 2000, and now you're telling me that your $100 is worth $10 right now, bro.
Yeah, because in 2005 they openly admit America's currency was worth 9 cents to the dollar. It's bankrupt. It already got crashed. That's why the gold, based on that useless piece of paper.
Worry, guys.
Go ahead, Charles.
Come with another dead currency. After the dead presidents, they're gonna come with crypto. They're still pushing that dead shit.
Sure they are. But the thing is, the masses aren't going to move from it. The 2019 and 2021, just to confirm, are most people asleep? Yes, they are. They're asleep. They're going to stay asleep. You know,
most people won't even fucking flinch. They'll just go right to the next. They won't even. It'll be like nothing happened to them.
I gotta go to work.
Okay.
Nobody know, bro. Everybody had forgotten what had happened, bro.
Well, the thing is, Buji, most people aren't interested in knowing. Most people are caught up in their beliefs. Go Yahweh.
I ain't scared.
Yeah, well, this is.
You see the process of how to turn a nation happy.
I missed that part, Yahweh. Sorry, but I missed that part.
Me growing up in my life since the 70s, the 80s, I can see the transformation and what's like probing or pronging at the people to transform.
But that's an inner transformation. You'd almost have to do an inner revolution and realize all the programs running at any given moment within yourself.
Yeah, because I was
even you see on the fashion, right, bro? Like where everybody early 2000 wearing baggy clothes, next thing you know, boom, skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gucci. Yeah. Imagine trying to explain to those people that are already caught up in fashion, what about the material of those clothing? Because the material is more important than just how it looks. So how many people would say, go ahead.
To be honest with you, I personally got caught up growing up, bro. I probably put in hundreds of thousands of dollars with these material things, bro. I don't have no more space in my garage.
Yeah, you're probably the few, Buji, where most people aren't going to understand how, the hemp, when it comes to clothing, opposed to just smoking it, how much value that does for the body. Most of us are ignoring our body. As much as people say, well, Dom, I'm going to the store, I'm cooking food. I said, but are you really protecting your body from all the environment? Wi-Fi, electricity, radio frequency. So at this point, we're treating our vessel, whether we're aware of it or not, like it's a recreational vehicle. So people say, well, Dom, it's just a meat suit. Yes, it is a meat suit, but it is your temple, is it not? Well, yeah. So how much are you respecting it? Hence, the old saying, be in the... Go ahead, Charles.
It's they also got to remember, too, to treat it like a temple. And also, it's a vehicle also. So
you have
putting
to
sludge to your engine.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, bro. The reason we got all this fucking 5G and Wi-Fi and shit is motherfuckers that say a lot of funky shit on a world stage, and so whether we want to engage in it or not, we could be living off grids in the woods. We're still getting zapped by radiation and technology. So
you know what the crazy part about it, as we age up and as I learn a lot from the vessel, if you don't take care of your own vessel, my brother, it will take you.
Sure will. Sure. Well, you reap
scary stuff. It's scary stuff, bro.
Well, you reap what you sow. But then again, we have to remember there's two things that were put together. There's the human part, and then there's the being part. The human part gets beat up on a regular basis of what the being wants. The technology that comes out is for the being, that essence of us. The human part, from the day you were birthed out of it, it's already aging. Hence, it's a mortal thing. That's why people play with morality. Nothing wrong with treating that vessel beautifully. If you have the right DNA, you could smoke all you want and still live 100 years. But again, at the same time, what are you going to do with a suit that's already perishing?
Yeah, you ain't gonna live forever, regardless.
No. If we did, are we going to allow Hitler and Stalin?
Live your fucking life like nothing.
You live to 80 or 85. Yeah, that's great when you're 80 and 85. Maybe not, but at the end of the day,
man. 80 years is a fart.
This whole thing, that's why this whole thing's a crapshoot, bro.
It is.
Ain't the people paying for the service they receive?
What's that? You breaking up?
Aren't the people paying for the services they receiving?
Yep. It's always paying for the service.
Sure. Hell yeah. You gotta pay for your death before you're dead.
Yep.
My grandfather reserved the spot in the earth. That's crazy. We reserve spots for our death.
They do use that phrase, even though
you're getting what you asked for. Yeah.
Well, whether you do it naively, but again, that old phrase, be in the world but not of it. They're talking about your body. Be in the body but not of it. It's a beautiful technology. Don't get me wrong; it's beautiful. But what do you do with a Samsung or an iPhone?
It's the body and the mind. It's all of it.
I would probably lean towards, at that point in the group, we're in the mind. Hence the image of God. You've never seen God. You've never seen the image of man.
Why not of the mind, though?
Man, that's a good point.
Yeah, but then again, we have many words in Latin with the word ment. You're in ment, man. We have receivers. We call them brains. But we don't have the mind. It's kind of like AI. Where is AI? You can look at a software and you can look at all this stuff, but where is AI? Where's that frequency in the air? You know, why is it I can go to another part of the world and all of a sudden now start picking up an accent? Or
it's in your man. It's in your mind, in your man.
Yeah, that's why when people say in the tree of life, you're understand. What are you under? Sophia, what is it under? What's the pyramid? Now I'm just using words. You know, in biblical stories, they talk about man, and then they talk about what was in the Garden East of Eden. What is that? Are we talking about material versus spiritual?
Education.
Yeah, educate, bring out.
Education is artificial intelligence.
Yeah. We're to me, and this is my position, I'm artificial intelligent. Not the body. I'm artificial intelligent. Where do you think voice comes from? Where do you think thoughts are?
I think I see a building right there, right? That's artificial intelligence.
Yes. Now I get it where people say, well, Don, that makes no sense. I said, yeah, when you're in that top of the iceberg, 10% above, you're in the conscious state. Of course, you're not going to understand it. You're going to have to go beneath that and realize, okay, when I'm in a silent sleep state, for a lot of people, they're not interested in that, especially when you're slowly, you know, you're 20, you're 30, you're 40, you're gradually trying to experience the material world. But once you start reaching 50 or 60 or 70, is there more to this existence? Probably not. Is there something beyond that? Maybe. Then at that point, you have to put faith in something called the unknown. But for a lot of people, that's of no interest, which is okay. So then think, yeah, I'm with you.
You walk through the unknown air, right? Y'all claim y'all can't see the air, so it's unknown.
There's a lot of things that we do not know what the senses pick up, like where's thoughts? You know, why is only the body able to produce blood? You know, it's not like as though, you know, and animals are the same way. Why is it when they say that they've done studies, and we'll talk scientifically, where when they do some sort of organ transplant, the person starts recalling memories of somebody else that was the organ donor. Interesting. You know, why do people drink blood, gold? Again, these are all possibilities for most people, but for most people, we've been conditioned. Our forefathers, there's a good chance most of our forefathers were fucking asleep, no different than people today. But among them, there could have been people that were probably curious. Because am I to assume Jesus, Muhammad, and all their wisdom, where was Wi-Fi back then? Where was cars back then? Unless there's... go ahead.
To me, I can't prove it, but I feel that for the whole world to hate one man, they had to have media and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they had internet too back then. Why wouldn't they?
They could. They could, but they didn't report it. Sorry,
why people in the desert or the boondocks hate Jesus? Like, how do they know about this stuff? They got to be educated.
They could have reported it, but they probably took that shit out of the writings.
They could
altered some history.
Maybe not near agenda, no different. Are they going to report what his diet was? You know, what he did on a Tuesday opposed to a Saturday? Like, again, people, you know what it is, Charles? It's like the parents that get a divorce and the one child has I miss my dad. Okay, but what do you miss of your dad? They have their imagination of what they miss of their dad. And this is what people do when they talk about Socrates, Jesus, Hitler, all these characters. They make up all these stories. Some of them could be valid, but how could you confirm it? You know, this is why when people talk about Donald Trump, what they're really saying is,
it's it's a complete fucking. You have to fucking make it up in your head, bro. Like you're reading the.
That's what I'm saying. How can we trust any of this stuff? That's kind of my point. Like,
yeah, you got to go inwards. You got to be that gatekeeper and say, how does this serve to know whether or not a guy named Donald Trump, who's probably, I'm looking at his eyes, reading a script, saying we're going to invade another country. That's a story. Whether it happens,
like Donald Trump could be CGI.
It's like 98.5% is speculation, and the rest is, say, factual.
It can be, but then again, based on what? Your senses? Again, most people, when they use the word fact, they're basing on what? On written work? Did you experience it with your eyes? Well, yes, I did. Have you ever been tricked with your eyes? Well, yes, I can. So how do you know that's for sure? I don't know, Dom. There you go. Again, people put so much reliant on their senses. That's why they bring out radio.
I know one thing's for sure. If you run into that wall, it's going to leave a lump on your head.
Sorry, go ahead, Intergroup.
Well, let's just say, like, you got people that like to debate like that. Let's just say like black people are criminals or more prone to crime, right? Even if you're somebody who maybe you got robbed one time, maybe somebody held you up and took your wallet, a black guy took your wallet, right? Even if that happened to you one time, that's a valid experience that you can have and you can speak on, right, when the topic comes up. But then even if it happened to you like that, you still can't assume that that's like it happens to everybody and they just don't want to talk about it or they're just scared to say it, but y'all know it's true. You know, a lot of people get locked in a position. So it's more so, even if you have an experience yourself, you still have to treat it like an anecdote and say, yes, even though it may have happened once, it still doesn't mean that it's just, you know, historical precedent or carries any more weight than that. So the same thing goes for history for me, right? It's like the Bible and all that shit. It's in one little piece of the world, bro. It's in one spot. And so I have to imagine a world where everybody was just hanging out and then this shit happened. And I have to imagine that all in my mind based on a storybook, right?
Yeah. Imagination. It's always in your story. Now, if somebody said to me,
it's the same with Donald Trump, bro. People imagine that, he eats McDonald's. They think he goes to the same places they do during the day. And he don't. He's hanging out with all them, drinking fine wine and fucking baby leg, barbecue baby ribs and shit. You know what I mean?
Again, this is how I keep. If I heard somebody say to me, Dom, I got mugged by a dark-skinned man, I would actually pay attention. If a man says to me, Dom, it was a black man, I'm very suspicious now of that person. I would say, listen, I'm with you in what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, that person's already revealing he's been conditioned. It's like when somebody said Donald Trump. I said, who's Donald Trump? He says,
no, I was just comparing like a statement of fact versus. It
is fact, but the thing is, he's not black. So that person's already been conditioned. So I'm suspicious. That's all I'm saying.
Like,
I don't trust him.
It's the same as like any guy that gets married and he gets divorced. Like his wife divorces him and like meets some other dude and takes half his shit, right? It's a very common story among married men. So now, like we were talking about men losing and this and that, I mean, online, dude, it is constantly men saying all the same shit about women in the relationship side and the women saying the same shit. That never happened back in the day.
But the thing is, economically, most men that get married, they don't understand how the system works. It'd be different if we were talking about women and men work equally for the same amount of money. That doesn't exist. You might have the exception to the rule. So when men go to court,
right? But there's a reason for all that. It's motherfuckers engineered these social trends that we got going on.
Well, the thing is, in the group, women have always worked all the time. Men just more times than not have got away from working with nature and they work for economic gains. So when a man says, I go to court, you're going to a court where it's mostly men. So don't be complaining about a woman that's taking.
No, the women worked at home. They would even do a lot of the gardening and farming duties at home while the man was out earning some kind of economic, after the depression and shit and all that and getting back on their feet. You had to start, right? When they had to start over after the Great Depression and shit, they couldn't just run out to the grocery store. They had to build everything back up and shit. So,
and most strong.
When they got into the war, that's when they recruited women into the factories and shit. And then in the 70s is when they came up with daycare, right?
Yeah, because they're starting to build up the economy and they're just trying to make more profit on a debit system. In most communities,
well, I'd say they created that situation to make the profit. They said,
everything's
if we get women to work, then we have a daycare, and daycare costs half a paycheck.
Yeah, every system is created to a certain point. So now, in old communities, women privately ran the show. Men were the public head house. But more times than not, in communities, women did most of the work. Men would go out and hunt. They would maybe have to protect each other. And what are they protecting? The reproduction system. So now today in this economic system is so back-assward that most men that complain about the women took me for everything I have, I said, you don't got a fucking clue what's going on here, do you? You're too busy complaining about your feelings. Even when a man calls a woman an ex, I said, you don't even understand energy at that point.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, but let's be real about that one point. Your little relationship, right? Who you fucking, who you dating, this and that. It's the one thing that people are allowed to be juvenile children all the way up until their old age.
Yep.
Like you'll find 60, 70, 80. Oh, my girlfriend, I'm pissed at my girlfriend. She's a bitch. They'll say the same shit they said at 17 about relationships and spats. When it's just, you know what I mean? It's something we don't really mature into, I'd say. And that's becoming more and more.
And that's why feminism, in its purest sense, has a struggle with the ones that are pretend feminists that are trying to be like these childlike little boys pretending to be men. A true woman would say, listen, I don't fight for that kind of stuff. I stand for myself. I understand my boundaries. And real men are no different. But what ends up happening for a lot of people, they're children pretending to be adults, which a lot of us are. Nothing wrong with being childlike. Just you can't be like that all the time. You know, the guys that... Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say a lot of people these days, especially, but it's been the trend since my generation. They speak from places that they've never been to or seen or lived in, but they just relaying shit that they heard based on reading other people's shit, right?
Which is unfair.
Yeah, you can still pass. You can still pass on information. Doesn't, you know, the person that can experience it and observe it, all the power to them. They're balancing themselves. There's people that just experience things and they really just don't talk about it. And then there's other people. I've watched somebody put a hands on the stove. I learned a lot from it. I can pass that onwards. Now, if the person that still wants to say, listen, I want to experience putting my hands on the stove. Yeah, go ahead, fill your boots. You know, we don't always have to be the experiencer. Because if
and then y'all both do it, and then you can have a conversation between it, and then you find out, oh shit, you was thinking the same thing I was, and
we had to do it. Yeah, we had to do it. It'd be different if we were solely about experiencing. We wouldn't have the type of technology we have then. Why would we be observing sports? You know what I mean? Like, I get it. We're going to have a function. We're going to have a community function. We're going to have Intergroove play music once a year for us in our festival. But outside of that, we're not going to make it a business. Why? Because for most people, say, listen, I'm too busy trying to maintain my needs. I got to farm. I got to make sure I have shelter. We don't have time for those. And today, it's classified as luxury, even though people are delusional.
Right, but you get to the luxury and you get to the arts and you get to all that good shit after you've settled all the base needs and everybody's accounted for and taken care of and you're chilling.
That's right.
Around a campfire and you start beating on a fucking drum and everybody starts humming and dancing around and, oh, look, fucking Joey's got the fucking shroom caps over here, and then the party gets wild all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
There you go. I'm with you. That's why they have a harvest season and what you celebrate. That's why I say open the gate out, let people take their chance with nature and realize nature's way more crueler, because in nature, you'll find out in a short period of time, you're not independent in nature. You might be able to be a little bit interdependent with nature. In civilization, you have to be dependent, not independent. You tell me a person that's independent, I'll show you how fucking quickly that they're dependent.
We're dependent. I'm cool with give and take, right? As long as you're getting something of equal value back.
Yeah, now at that point you're striving for interdependency. But for a lot of us, we're not. That's why when I tell somebody, say, you walk out of your apartment.
Well, it doesn't have to be a dependency per se, though, right? It
is. But
it's like a hammer. I depend on a hammer if I need to put a nail in something, but other than that, Okay,
so Intergroup, at that point, anybody can visualize this. You're leaving your house. It's a heated house. You have all the stuff that's going to it. You have your Wi-Fi coming to it. You have electricity coming to it. You're having water coming to it. It's not like as though you're doing that for yourself. So now somebody say, yeah, but I pay for it. I say,
well, I kind of am. I got a water well, dude. I put that bitch in myself. So.
Well done. I'm with you, Intergroup. But
I just got electricity and a cell phone. That's the only two things I got.
So you have some things coming in. But for more times than not, this is about talking about the majority. Okay. And we can observe each other. So at that point, somebody said, well, Dom, but I have money. I said, okay, so what product or service did you offer to obtain that piece of paper? And then they tell me a story. I said, okay, so now you're reliant on customers to buy your product and service. Yes, you are. So now when you get in a car, did you make the car? No, I didn't. So you're going to need somebody to go get your fuel, right? Well, yeah. What about the tires when they break down? Well, I'll need somebody else. And where are you going to? I'm going to a grocery store. At that point, that person
that's civilization.
Point, that person is from dependent From that point on, it's not like when you're a baby and you got to be reliant on your parents because your hands aren't working correctly and you just can only make a noise. That's a different type of dependency. But most adults, they're dependent from the day they wake up in the morning to the day they go at the day when they go to sleep. But yet they say, "Well, I don't agree with the system." Well, then what would it look like if you're out in nature where you have to make sure you put your foods up high enough because the bear says, "Listen, I'm not interested in eating you. But if civilization pushes me close enough, maybe I will probably eat you. But outside of that, I want that apple. I want that berry that you have." This is where most people have lost themselves. But what the system allows you is freedom of speech. Really, what it should be called is freedom of bitching and complaining. Because really, unless people are willing to walk the talk, which I'm not, I like my comforts. I don't mind being that hypocrite. That's why I talk. Where most people, they're too scared to be a hypocrite. But they know deep down inside they are that person that's full of shit.
Yeah,
Now,
it's a fragile ego, yeah.
Yes, but how many? It sounds nice. Go ahead. Yeah, wait, my apologies.
No, you're all right. I'm agreeing with you.
And again, it's one of those things. People aren't willing to have those types of conversation because they would say, "Well, Dom, yeah, because you've been too busy pointing fingers." It's not about the government. It's not about religion. Those people have already told you what they voted on. If, like you were telling me, a great example, Intergroup, if I met a guy and I'm chit-chatting with him and he talks about religion, he's a business person, I would ignore the religious part. Would you mind talking to me, even though I'm a total stranger, about what you do for a business? Because I understand economics. Religion, really, at its core, is about economics. State at its core, it's about economics. Science at its core, it's about economics. They haven't changed the system. They just work with the system. You show me somebody that's a Catholic, I'll say, "Listen, you know how much money it costs to keep the Vatican running? Same with Mecca. Same with the White House. You know, tell us stories about whether the earth is flat or green or whatever, and then talk about NASA or talk about SpaceX. That's all about economics."
But the money is the people.
Well, the energy that we give up for that piece of paper.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're making money for StreamYard and YouTube right now. They loving us, bro. We were fucking giving it to them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm the hypocrite right now. I don't mind talking about certain. Go ahead, Yahweh.
Which is you. You the money they make it.
Well, you're the energy. You're the antenna. I get it. The thing is, Yahweh, a lot of times when people hear the word money, they think of the piece of paper that they work for. We're the energy that we exchange for something that's more valueless. That piece of paper. Go ahead.
What the entity is telling me money is gold and silver.
Well, unless you know how to use gold and silver for a conduit, it's useless. So again, this is where power comes in.
Right? You just place your gold and silver in heaven.
That's a different kind of element, but I get where you're going with that. But you know, then we might as well turn around and say all the rich people in the world that have all that gold, probably from stealing from other people or doing a misbartering with them. Here, how about you work my piece of land and there's gold nuggets.
Food gold. I'm not talking about physical gold, food gold. I'm talking about the sun.
They're gonna need that gold to pay Anubis.
The gold, and they got one's face on it. Like, so I think when you look at something, it's your eyesight.
Or who's the Irish one that would collect the coins off the eyes? Remember?
2 coins when you go on the ferry.
Yeah, they collect the gold and silver off
to
your
pay
eyes.
that toll.
There you go. That's it.
When you pass away,
I'm gonna look it up. I want to know.
Yeah, but today, you know what they call it, Charles? You have to pay for a funeral or cremation. It's the same idea.
That's true.
It's the same idea. So it's a story, and at the end of that, wherever that ferry is going with those 2 coins, somebody's collecting it and they're burning the body probably. Again, these are stories.
You can't even put your own family's body in your own fucking property. You allegedly own.
You can.
No, I know you can, but and there's a whole thing that happens when you do that. It becomes the estate or something like that. But
yeah, for tax purposes. Yeah, and that's why we have funeral plots inside of communities. You know, like when you look at it, that's prime land. Why would you have the dead among us? Because it's about business. You know, really, with all sincerity, whoever's running the show, they don't fucking care about the citizens of the world at all.
Well, I know that.
Well, you know that. But most people don't even scratch the surface. As they're giving a vote, they're telling me they don't know. I don't care if you vote red or blue. I don't give a shit if it's liberal or conservative. I don't care if a shit if it's communist. Wait a second, communist has a chance, but humans get in the way. What do you mean? Because it's about a social system. But most people say capitalism. So then why did capitalism take advantage of a social system? Because that's how it works.
Voting day reminds me of going to a carnival and playing one of them games.
Sure it is.
That's designed for you to never win.
Yeah. And what do you think a person is saying when they say, I'm a Christian, I voted. I'm a Muslim, I voted. I'm an American, I voted. That's what they're saying. I voted. I'm on this team. Okay, so you're on that team. What about if you join all the teams? What do you mean? Then you're not going to be attached, opposed to trying to resist them all and say, listen, I don't want to be a Christian. Okay, well, there might be some value in Christianity. What is it? It's a warm fucking shelter on a Sunday. You know? But yet people will pursue other things. So I'm a magician. Okay, you're into magic, or you like to play music.
There's a warm FU teaching on a Sunday. Yeah.
Or a Saturday. Sorry, guys.
A warm FU teaching shelter on a Sunday. That's right.
All praise to Moses, Jehovah, Yahweh.
If you see King, fucking.
No way. Let's see. Okay. MAGA. Huh. They forgot to put the T. After, you know, on the MAGA t-shirts, you got to put a T at the end of it.
People got a database and they store in that database. This is what I feel. I don't really know. And they store in their database what phrases mean. So whenever someone say something, they go in their database and pull out what they told themselves.
Maggot's originally spelled M-A-G-G-O-T, but
I think you go the way you stand and look at what I think call your senses, or you, and see that everything is your senses. To gather data, like you gather data through your senses.
What y'all think about fucking?
If you got your own opinion, you got your own eyesight, or you got your own fingerprint, or you the only one thinking all your life. And we merge like Voltron. So like the head, everybody want to be the head, or somebody want to be the foot. And people, you know, fighting for the front seat. The body of Voltron.
It's all in what you're trying to do and if it's working for you or not. Don't matter what. You know what I mean?
Who could be the head of Voltron? Who could be the feet? And you the only one thinking all your life. So that's the doctrine, where everyone pull into the doctrine and be doctrinated. One plus one is two, I think, to everyone. So we acting like the body of Voltron or Devastator or from Transformers.
I don't know. Some people are fucking questionable, bro. I know that. I don't know what the fuck they are. Some people definitely operating on a much different level of the programming than I am. You know, at least I'm aware of this shit. I know what I'm involved in. When I move, other motherfuckers are locked in.
Body, and I'll form their head. Yeah. The head leading the group and the body, you know, moving things. The hand moving thing. I mean,
Hey, it's
so
like
every
it is like the Matrix movie. It is the Agent Smith effect, where if somebody says something in a room full of people, there's usually you'll notice somebody will take up the task of defending without fail. Though somebody's going to come in and automatically just try to shoot you down instead of just
start challenging everybody's belief. Yeah, which is forming the head. Voltron.
yeah.
Or Power Rangers. I think Power Rangers came together too. Yeah, Power Rangers made one big robot.
That was my brother's generation. I didn't watch no Power Rangers shit. I don't know nothing about that.
It's all the same.
I'm Tom and Jerry and fucking Foghorn Leghorn fucking era shit.
Yeah, Power Rangers is Voltron.
Space Ghost and the fucking Grape Ape. I used to like Grape Ape.
What's up, Jason? Damn.
Yeah. So what's on the game plan today, Charles? You ain't working on the programs yet? You ain't downloaded Reaper? You ain't tried that yet?
No.
Get your mic. You get on it, man. Yeah. I went to a friend's house last night who he's got a little home studio, kind of like I got, and he had a pretty nice keyboard in there. It's something I wanted to take home with me.
What, his keyboard?
Yeah.
The keyboards are dope.
Had some
music.
Different way of doing things and some different types of sounds and shit. It sounded good. It's expensive as shit, but
especially when you could go into the sound, like and then play it on the keyboard.
Yeah, it's totally different when it's all at your fingertips,
Fuck.
I think we talking because we don't know each other. If or when we know each other, we stop talking.
You ever heard of the Queen Anne, the Black Viking Queen of Denmark? Interesting. Very interesting, dude.
Louisiana had a black governor a long time ago. Something I never knew about until I found it on my own.
Paying your service bills, you know it, so you don't talk. You just pay it. So when you didn't know it, you talk. So we talking, I think, because we don't know each other. So when we know each other, we stop talking.
All the talking is to get the shit in your head and somebody else's head, bro. Other than that, you ain't got to talk to nothing. Talk to an animal. I talk to my animals like I'm having a conversation just to get them used to the words, because it doesn't matter if they can speak them or not, they can start associating, right? So I use the same text on a dog I use on people, right? You just tell them what the intention of the coming action is, because that's the thing, bro. Talking's great, but you gotta be doing too,
We
every
talking
day.
because we don't even thinking.
Yeah.
Because if we all thought the same, we wouldn't be talking.
What you do, bro? Are you religious? You part of are you a official religion, or you got your own shit?
I'm the only one thinking, but they call it Christianity or Islam.
Yeah.
I don't really know. But
you accept Jesus is your Lord and Savior. Is that what you're saying? I'm just curious.
The truth, yeah, truth is my Lord and Savior.
Yeah, that's cool. I was just curious. I ain't gonna say nothing else about it.
The head of my body is man, my mind, and the head of my mind is the truth.
I feel you, bro.
I had to go to where I'm standing and not go to that
Okay.
desert
I got
on
a
TV.
question. I got a question. A lot of people like to argue and they like to say when people say that I got my truth, like everybody has their own truth. Does everybody have their own truth or is there just one?
Own
That
opinion.
everybody,
Yeah, it's only one truth, which is the only one.
you, and I said, yeah, everybody's got their own. You can't argue that. That's why I
Which is
say whatever works for somebody else. Like if, somebody else is off doing the corporate world shit and they got a fucking 6-figure job and they're driving a BMW and fucking, got all the women and shit. I mean, it's working for them.
but
I would
that's
never
you. Like
expect them
it's someone
motherfuckers
else's truth. Like,
that
I
you
think
ain't ever talk them into fucking going off grid and fucking the system. I mean, they could say, yes, I don't like Trump, but they still fucking doing their thing, bro, Get in where you fit in and fucking, that's what I was trying to do
get
with,
in where you fit in is fucking right.
like when I realized the system was fucked up and I didn't want to be in it or, I didn't want to be, I
You
didn't
don't
want to
want to
sell
plug
out
in.
for it. I was
Yeah, you
looking
don't
for
want to stick it
business. I was looking for business ideas that I could operate on the fringe. That way I could still keep my moral integrity intact within myself. I could do something that wasn't like damaging to other people and shit and still make a buck.
Yeah.
And then, without having to sell out to the fucking, just operate off
You
the,
don't want to fuck them. Yeah, you don't
like
want to stick it in. Yeah.
like a tick or a parasite. That's what I was trying to be on the system. I was like, all right, bitch, I'll see what you are. I'm going to suck a little blood off and I'm going to fucking hop off,
The world is built off of sex. Like male plug
Yeah,
and
that's,
female socket.
hold on. I'm sorry. That's something I wanted to bring up earlier and it flew by, but the trend now, bro, they got these places where you can go and you can just walk in and you can get stuck with an IV of all kinds of shit. They got like 10 different concoctions of things that you can walk in, sit down, and they'll stick an IV in and you can get a vitamin rush. You can get they got shit for like hangovers. Like if you've been out all night, you can go to this place and then you can get shot up with an IV and you can go to work in 2 hours type shit. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And then they got what do you think about this testosterone and all this shit, testosterone replacement they're doing nowadays? And you're talking about men, bro, and setting them up to lose. And that's something that older generations didn't do. Our fucking old grandfathers wouldn't get no fucking testosterone replacement shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man is man, though. Man, woman, and child is man.
Yeah, I get all that, bro.
They banishing the mind, not the sock, not your sock.
Here's the thing, bro. When you we all spiritual on this channel, bro. We all speak enough to display that, right? So we operate in the material world. We call that the reality of the real world, right? So all we're trying to do is kind of maintain, bro, the balance and not lose ourselves within that. We still got it is the environment that we've been born into, and to change that is that's never happened in history, or has it? We don't know.
Which is born in sin. Right? Ignorance.
We probably it's so much momentum. We probably can't. In fact, we'll probably never see the complete change in our lifetime because it'll probably take a couple lifetimes worth of time to get there. But at the same time, bro, things have changed so much from where we were 30 years ago that a lot of people are wanting to go back to 30 years ago now. So
yeah, people think we see people on the TV when there's no one ever was there. So it's programming us things that's not there.
Yeah, but 30 years ago we had the real life. We was all out in the world, bro, like meeting each other in person and shit. And that was our
living intelligence. Yeah, intelligence that's living. So we program through artificial intelligence, and we just come out the house like a new creature or something, because it ain't nothing on the TV teaching us nothing. It's your imagination.
Yeah, so everybody just doing their own thing, no matter how wacky it is, as long as they're not like, well, I just go to work and I come home and then I sit down and I watch the TV for 4 hours and I go to bed every night and do the same. As long as you're not that, as long as you're doing anything different than that, then we matter. That's why we're here, Ross, in my opinion.
Personality, right? like the movie Split. I don't know if y'all ever seen that, but they split the personality through programming.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, there are a lot of things.
So as I play the video game
And
GTA,
they do it on purpose.
I think
That's why they do these world trauma events. Whether it's real or not, you saying it's on a screen, right? I get all that. We can all
Yeah,
question that. Fucking
but it's really nothing there, right? So I'm making up GTA. I'm making up characters running around doing stuff. I'm making
right.
it up
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
imagination. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just like the whole thing about terrorism, bro, this war on terror, that whole thing, they've created a movie in our minds about what's really going. Like they made us think these motherfuckers are like all
No,
day,
we
all
got.
night, fucking training in the desert, jumping over sticks and fucking doing flips and shit with guns and like they
I got what
coming.
I asked for because I purchased the video game GTA. I purchased it. I got what I asked for.
Yeah, I got it too.
Yeah, yeah. So they're not making me purchase it. I got what
No,
I
bro.
asked for. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got programming or entertainment like I
And
asked for.
you know what I like about it? With the original San Andreas on not the PS, even the PS2 version is it's the nostalgia of it, dude. It reminds me of the '90s, like instantly. That's what I love about that game. That's the thing that drew me to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And your
I don't,
imagination.
I don't play all the war games and shit, but you gotta if you have played them, you know, bro. That shit's like you want to talk about programming and conditioning.
Super Soldier Program. Yeah. So
Yeah,
the
all of it.
drill rappers they was playing Fortnite and Call of Duty, and they came out like playing the game in real life.
Yeah, yeah.
Super
That's why
Soldier.
nobody's really flipping out about the way these ICE motherfuckers look walking around on the street with geared up with fucking guns, bro. It's like a video game, bro.
Yeah, the Super Soldier Program of the U.S. military.
Yeah, all of it. The reason the
Yeah.
motherfuckers are fucking rolling around on boats and submarines right now is the same thing. Everybody's in the military fucking flying around in a helicopter right now, like training. Training for what, bro? Training for motherfucking Red Dawn movie, 1984. Yeah, I saw it too, bro. It's fucking wild, but where were y'all in that movie? U.S. military, you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about that movie is fucking. In that movie, it was the Russians, I think. Yeah, and they fucking wasn't no U.S. military nowhere. In that
Yeah, I
movie.
think I've seen that before. Yeah, that's
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
Wolverines, fucking right, bro.
Yeah, I'm artificially intelligent with Red Dawn. Yeah.
And then look, bro. You ever seen the movie War Games?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the fucking supercomputer in there, the AI fucking supercomputer in the 1984 movie that was predicting all these world military tactile situations like nuclear attacks and same thing we
Yeah.
got right now, right?
They had to plant the war in the mind because it don't exist, right?
And what was they doing, bro? They was talking to Joshua, fucking talking to a computer just like Chat GPT and shit.
The mind is the battleground because if you don't witness it or don't know of it, the war don't exist in your mind.
Yeah, because the movie, what was the big tagline in War Games at the end of the movie? The AI, the Chat GPT came back with the answer. What was it? The only winning move is not to play, bro.
There you go.
Yeah, bro. That's it.
With people's real life emotion and
See,
stuff, and like
that's the
implanted.
indoctrination and programming I got. After I saw that
Yeah.
as a kid, I didn't need to see all these other movies. Everybody's like, "Oh, you need to watch this movie." It's like, bro, I saw War Games 1984 and Red Dawn. I got the program already. I got it early. I figured it out then when they told me, because they're telling everybody the same shit the whole time. It's this big,
Which is
the whole
creating hope, right?
nuclear war, right? How can we imagine that? The only thing we've ever seen is those videos that show us the fucking mushroom clouds and some shit that looks questionable on video, right? Back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But they got the whole world. It's real enough. Why? Because this thing, I mean, does anybody here I don't know. I mean, you might believe it's all fake and there are no nuclear bombs, but everybody believes that, right? Does that make it real enough?
Through programming.
We have to recognize that and treat it as such. I would
Which is
think.
alter,
Am I
right?
wrong?
Alter ego, alter. Like you say.
Yeah, we all have one. We have to have one. It's the fucking. It's the uniform we have to put on. See, that's the thing, bro. In psychology, there's two branches. One of them is cognitive, and one of them is social. Cognitive is the thinking that happens just solely within you and your own thoughts about you and what you see, without interacting with other people. Once you interact with another person, that's a whole nother. Everything changes, right? So we already have an alter ego. We have our self with ourself, and then we have the one that's interacting with somebody else. Because
yeah, alters.
Yeah, so everybody has alter ego and split.
So you would say to one person, you like, you did this. They like, I did. So it's like they got an alter. Like one alter don't know what the other one doing.
Well, that's some MK Ultra shit happening when you do that.
Yeah, the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta be aware of that, right? And you gotta regulate it yourself.
MK Ultra, mind control, mind culture, mind.
Like me, they ain't there's no difference really. I do talk to myself sometimes and walking around my house. I work shit out in my head and I'll talk it out. And I find by observing myself that I'm pretty much the same whether I'm talking to other people or myself, you know. I try not to have too much of it. Some people have a completely different alter ego, like you're talking about. Like they'll be fucking oh, I'm Mr. fucking pillar of the community guy when he's in social psychology mode, but when he's in cognitive, he's got a stripper in his basement he's had chained up and tortured for the past week and shit. You know what I mean? He's doing some weird shit. He's by himself, so some people are like that. And so when they have to come and they have to maintain the alter ego of interacting with other people, especially in like places where there's multiple different.
Talking, we talking because we don't know each other. When we know each other, we'll stop talking.
Well,
why am I talking when I know you, right?
Well, depends, bro. I mean, if I meet another musician, bro, like when I meet him and I know he's a musician, bang on. Yeah, we on the same side of the radio dial somewhere. We close somewhere. And so the rest of it is just kind of pinpointing, and not only that is you talking, you sharing experiences and individual things and like tips and tricks and shit like that. So you become a valuable resource for somebody else, and you grow together by filling each other in on some shit. But
when y'all play the instruments, y'all don't have to talk.
Right. True. Yeah. But there again, right? If you know anybody that plays guitar, they don't just pick it up and say, "Oh, I just play what sounds good." I don't. No, they're all fucking. You got to nerd out. Oh yeah, that's a such and such chord. You got to learn music theory, and so that's the only reason you need to learn all that other shit and read music on paper, write it on paper, is so you can translate it to somebody else without, having to hum it to them. It's like a language. That's all it is, learning like a language, like computer programming or English or Spanish or some shit. It's just music, talk. But other than that, yeah.
You can tell which relative walking down the steps. If you're in a room with the door closed, you can tell which one of your family members walking down the hallway or something.
Hey, I got an example I heard just yesterday listening to a musical person talk about it. But they mentioned how if you have like a family that sings together, like if you have like a brother and sister that sing together, like they say it was Billy Corgan actually said it, that there's something different about when you got like a brother and sister or relatives, blood family that sing together. Something about the voice harmony is different than two strangers. I thought that was an interesting idea to consider. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you singing from the same blood, you singing from the same experiences, you got the same DNA relative, and you got two voices coming together, you know. Well, that's what does it say in the Bible, bro? What does it say about where two or more are gathered? What's it say? Tell me.
Two or more gathered, he is there. Or the
There you
Lord is
go,
in the
bro. So that's what we doing, bro.
The truth is in the midst. Yeah.
Right, we doing it right now. We
The
doing the
light.
thing, bro. Right now, bro. We are it. We happening it. We the only thing that matters right now. Fuck all that history. That
Yeah, I think
happened, cool, whatever. But we right now, bro. So we doing the thing.
yeah,
It's
when
like I
you
said.
read or you hear somebody talking, I think you should only see your true life. When you go in the world, you're gonna be lost. Like that desert that Jesus be walking around in the movies. If I go there, I'm gonna be lost. I gotta go where I'm standing in the truth.
Yeah, bro. You right.
So when I hear you talking, I can only hear my real life.
I hear you, man.
Because how do I know what you said?
You're the only one thinking, bro. I get it.
Yeah.
My dog's the only one barking.
I gotta tell myself what you saying. You're not telling me what you're saying. I'm telling myself. Because I might be completely wrong of what you're saying. No matter how many times you keep saying it to me. I'm
I don't
telling myself.
know. All you gotta do is get whatever you can get out of what I'm saying, and whatever else is basically just whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because if it works for me, then who's anyone else to argue?
I can't see where anyone is teaching me something. I just can't see it. I'm telling myself what they're showing me.
Is that what you're here for? To learn something?
I think it's already in me. I was waiting on you to say it so I can say, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, man.
I've been sitting here.
I can't understand.
Sorry, I've been sitting there talking to you guys, and I realised my microphone was muted.
Oh, dude.
I was thinking, are these guys ignoring me? I thought I was interrupting. Yeah, sorry.
Oh man.
I've been listening. I've been listening though to what you've been saying. Is Charles actually here at the minute, or is he AFK?
Probably around.
So I had a couple of photos that I found to show him, but I'll wait till he comes back. He's muted at the minute, isn't he?
Oh, I'm here. I was writing something in the chat.
How's it going, Charles? You all right?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thanks. Except I've been sitting here talking to myself for the last, since I came in. I've got a couple of photos to show you at some point that I found.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a couple of maps. I found some from Connecticut as well. Before I start, though, did you? I don't suppose you saw the opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics the other day, did you?
No.
It was Sunday. I think it was Sunday, or could have been Saturday. Very interesting. One still I saw of it was like a blood red light on the stage with one of those, you know, the arc. You know, the thing you call portals.
Yeah.
Not like Noah's Ark, you know, like the Arc de Triomphe, those things. There was one of them, a massive one on the stage. No. You know, the things you drive under? Do you remember we keep looking at them in those photos? Like the Arc of Triomphe in France.
Oh, yeah, okay, yep.
Yeah, you had one, and some people refer to them as portals.
It's like a horseshoe, everyone. If you don't
Yeah.
know, you know those well,
Well, there was
Anyway,
one of them
they
on the
know what it
stage.
is.
There was one of them on the stage, right? With like this projected, like inverted pentagram, all in like a blood red color. Yeah, kind of weird, to be honest.
I have to watch it or play it on here somehow.
I'll
Let me see. Every Olympics, every opening to the Olympics has some
oh yeah, this is no different, mate.
Wild ritual or symbology. Same thing with the Super Bowl. I remember the commercials to the Super Bowl would always have some crazy symbolism.
Yeah, yes, I've heard about that as well.
I think I've seen that movie Eyes Wide Shut too. It's a good movie. Yeah, it was on Tubi yesterday. The movie came up, Eyes Wide Shut. I said, "Oh
Yeah.
man, is that where that name came from?"
Kubrick's last film, wasn't it?
I wonder if this is Springfield in The Simpsons right here. This picture.
Yeah. Would you like a quick look at these few photos, Charles?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just get it ready to share it then. Yeah, there's only a few, about 6 or 7 I found.
Man, it's so quiet. It was so almost zoned out.
Okay.
That's one sound effect I gotta get is a cricket, man. They don't have no cricket sound effect. Okay. Yeah, this is the thing right here that you're talking about.
Well, this is one of
These are
them.
everywhere.
I didn't realize
Even
how many
St.
there were.
Louis.
I didn't realize how many there were, mate, until I started looking the other day. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere, yeah.
I mean, they say they're symbolic, but I think they had a different purpose at some point.
I
really like
looked
the
one
veil,
day,
right?
Jason. One day I was looking at these, and I did a Google Lens search a few years ago, and I couldn't believe these things are everywhere, man. Everywhere. The U.S., South America, Canada, Europe,
Trump's putting one at
Africa.
the White House, bro.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that,
we
Charles,
have-
because I'm going to show you something
We
in a
have one
minute.
in Hartford, but the one in Hartford's a little different. It has 2 things on the top, but it's still an archway you go under to the Capitol. And look at the St. Louis Arch. You know, that's an advanced fucking portal. I wonder what these originally were.
Well, Charles, I saved this picture deliberately, right, because I noticed something.
It looks like
on
a
there.
magnet, right?
I know that could be a thing as well. But look at this when
A
you
horseshoe
zoom in.
magnet. Huh?
Say that again, mate.
A horseshoe magnet. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. But look at this on both sides. There's a finger. Look, it looks like something's been removed, like a plaque. You see it?
Yeah.
And there's one.
That's wild.
And there's one on the other side as well.
That's what happens when someone conquers the land. They rip off probably, or it could have been tech that was on there, something. But
yes, it's like something's been removed.
Like a sundial or a season.
Yeah, because the sun and the moon align with these things too. I've seen pictures where the sun is like directly lined up with this thing.
Well, hold that thought, and I'm going to show you something in a minute. I've just noticed something else. Through the middle of this arch, you can see that statue, and then there's something else lined up behind it, like a pagoda with another arch.
Yeah, it has a function. Yeah.
Okay.
It could be like a sun, a season tracker or something.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah. A little bit like some of those stone circles are, you mean?
Yeah, when you go through it and you see wherever the sun is, it tells you like what time of the year you're in.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Okay, what's next? Okay, this is Hartford for you. I found this. Connecticut.
Oh, hold on. Hartford, Connecticut.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
what that. 1886, I think this is.
Yeah, I always think about the Hartford. In Hartford, I always think about the Connecticut River and how, like, anyway. All the floods they had in Hartford, and I'm thinking they weren't smart enough to fucking. Anyway, I don't know. I don't get how that whole shit flooded like that.
Can you zoom it back out where I can see the horizon part and how they painted it?
Yeah. I'll tell you what. To be honest, there's another version of this picture just coming up that you can zoom in more on.
Okay.
What the hell river is that? What year is this map? That might be Park. Yeah, that might be Park Ave Stream, I think it's called.
Well, hold that thought, because in a moment I've got a better quality version of this. You can zoom in more. So I'll put that one next. They colorized it. What's next? I've got a couple of Connecticut ones. All right, this is one of my favorites, right? This is Paris in well, it was before the Eiffel Tower was built. 1889, this is. Now, you know the Arc de Triomphe in Paris today? It's right in the city centre, yeah? So, you know, it's the busiest part of Paris. And it's actually on this map, right, when you zoom in. This is Notre Dame Cathedral in the middle there. But if you zoom in right to the back there, you can see it there. That's the Arc de Triomphe in the middle. Now, nowadays, that's in the centre of modern-day Paris, that is. But what you said about them being in alignment with things, you can follow this directly on this map, right, when I zoom out. There's the arc there. Straight down this, I can't remember the name of this street now. You come straight down there, through this obelisk in the middle, look. We've got two weird, like, cones.
The sun. Yeah. The sun probably will line up perfect with that. That's awesome how they built that. Wow, look how far that is.
And it comes through here, look, through something else here, like a water feature, through these buildings pretty much. It just goes to the side of the actual cathedral. It comes straight down here to this bigger pillar in the middle. And I'd love to know what direction that's actually pointing in. But there's no statue.
What city is this?
Paris.
Oh, Paris. Okay.
1889. But there's some amazing stuff in this picture. I've spent ages looking at this because you can zoom in really well. Over this side, where is it now? I think this building here is the Louvre Museum and Art Gallery where they've got the Mona Lisa and stuff. No, sorry, that's the Louvre there. That building. But the sheer amount of cathedrals, right? Because, you know, this one here, for example, that's a relatively small one. They're absolutely everywhere in this picture when you start looking. There's one there, one there, one there. And why have 4 massive cathedrals like that in all next to each other? I think that kind of points towards the fact they had a different function at the time. Strange place to build the cathedral of Notre Dame. It's on an island in the middle of the river. That would have been a bit of a logistical nightmare to build that there as well. And they're absolutely everywhere. These look fairly small on this picture, but they're huge, really. There's another arc there, look.
That black cathedral, couldn't that be like the arch and the obelisk, but it's more closer together?
It could be what, sorry?
That the last cathedral you had in the center, the big black one.
This one.
Yeah. Okay, you know how the obelisk is down the road from the arch?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of look like the same thing. It just don't have an arch on it.
Oh, I see. What, with these 2 towers here, you mean?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it could be some kind of reading of the nature, I guess. I don't know how to say it. The heavens.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you observe it, you would observe the function of it from the outside, like how they do pictures. But when you're on the inside, it's probably a different perspective of the function than when you're on the outside of it. Like the one with that dome, when the sun shine on it, it probably told the people, you know, what the heavens say.
This is an awesome map.
Yeah, it's one of my favourites, this one. I've spent a long time looking at this. Like, the fact that most of these things have like these 2 towers in some shape or form. And what you just said then about you could have had an, you know, maybe it's like that archway. I never thought of that. But I just can't get over the amount of, the actual amount of these bigger buildings. This is 1889, before the Eiffel Tower was even built. And there's another arch there as well.
They very well knew about circuit boards before the 20th century.
Yeah, that is a point as well. You can't deny the similarities to circuit boards when you look. Look, there's like a Colosseum thing there, like a round thing that I never noticed either.
So people going through the world creates a circuit. Like people work and make the world go round. Like behind the scenes circuit.
Yeah, I can get beyond that.
So on the circuit board, the electricity go down the street or the strip of the circuit board, and it's kind of like the people doing something called their life working and stuff.
Yeah. It's weird how magnets have poles, and they're called north and south as well. I think there's something to all that, you know, the dual meaning of words and things. Anyway, I'll show you the next one. This is Salt Lake City. This is in what year is it? It's about the same, I think, 1889 or something. Might be a little bit later. But my friend lives just east of Salt Lake City, and he told me a lot about the place. This is the Tabernacle, the Mormon building. That wooden hut there, like a little log cabin. 1847. They were building like that while they were building buildings like that. It's a bit strange.
But they probably built the fort to the horizon, and you could level your logs with the horizon. Well, you don't need a level 20th century or whatever.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I wasn't knocking the way it was built. I was saying more, you know, they say we were living in those log cabins, but we were, at the same time we were building buildings like this out of stone, you know. Because they didn't really use saws. I was reading, I didn't know this. Like, that's why they're like log cabins, because they were mainly using axes. And because you can get saws to cut stone. That was one of the arguments for them building all these things. But at the time, saws were like a two-person thing. And you had to be relatively well skilled to use a saw correctly to cut blocks and things. That's why most of those cabins are built, you know, with axes. My friend also told me about this thing here, right? It's at the edge of Salt Lake City, the pavilion. I think nowadays the water's gone, you know, receded away from it. But this is quite strange, this thing in itself. It had, I think it had, that definitely had a dual meaning, a dual usage. There's like, I think they converted it, I think it's a swimming pool or something nowadays, but they say that there was something else there at some point for different use.
Or when you look at the water and the motion, it probably like smooth your emotions out or something.
So I've been following for the last 10 minutes, Jason. What's your fascination with these pictures?
Well, the fact that they seem a bit out of place, some of these buildings. They, for want of a better word, they're like old world, you know. Before, you know, before we had to start paying for electricity, basically. I was basically following up on what Charles was saying when I first met him, because he was showing some pictures like this, and I told him I'd come back and bring some.
Can I assume a lot of those are art rendition pictures?
What? Sorry?
Art renditions. They're not actually real photographs, pictures, but they're artist sketches of these buildings.
These are, yeah. I'm assuming, yeah. Remember that the jury's still out on the age of photography and things. I mean, that one I showed you then about the Paris one. That's what they call a lithograph. If you zoom in, it's
those look like art renditions.
Yeah, this is a lithograph. It's not actually a drawing. It's like it's sketched onto like a plate so that they can reproduce it with fine detail. I have got a couple of photos though. What's the next one? Oh yeah, this is Toronto, 1878.
I love them maps. That you could zoom in and like this. I have one like this. And it's real good. You could see everything.
Yeah, everything. It's crazy.
And these maps are 100 times better than any map I had growing up. I mean, it ain't much when you zoom in, but still.
Well, no, it's actually showing exactly what they are. Those are digital pictures. But basically an art rendition, which that could have been made yesterday. Like I said, what's the fascination behind all of that? Is there like I'm trying to figure out something, they're not telling us what they're telling us?
Well, I just think they weren't built by us, basically.
Well, at that point, these are just art renditions, so we couldn't really confirm one way or another that these are even real depictions of how things are laid out. You'd almost have to have a drone shot. That's what I'm saying. What is the fascination? Are we trying to play with our imagination and then looking at a cartoon picture to confirm something? I'm trying to be sincere here when I'm saying this.
Well, I wasn't actually trying to say anything. I was just returning the favour for Charles because I said I'd bring some pictures back. If you want my opinion, I'm coming from the point of view of, these big buildings and things in these pictures weren't built by us in the modern day or even the relatively recent past. I don't like using the word Tartaria because it's a bit of a weaponized word, but, what people call Tartaria, I think, these buildings are part of it.
Okay, so wouldn't it be better, I guess, Jason, to have the real pictures and then we can talk about it? Because these are art renditions.
Yeah, but this is 1889.
Again, these are art renditions. They can tell you whatever number they want on top of it. Remember, you're talking about Tartarian, and now you're telling me that this was 1890.
I'm not talking about Tartaria now because I did it.
No, but you did. Hold on. You did, but then you gave me a date.
I like
you're
these
saying,
maps.
I know you do, like Charles. I get that. That's why I asked Jason, what's his fascination from this? That's all. It was just it was an honest question. This is not like, let's push back a little bit because you brought in 1890 or whatever date you gave. That's a story that's been told to us. And you can't confirm it one way or the other. Neither can I. So what I'm getting is I've drawn a picture, I've put it out on a book, and you've taken it, and now they give you the technology to be able to zoom in, and as we zoom in, we see digital stuff. So these aren't even the real pictures at that point.
Yeah, but these aren't meant to be photos, though, are they? These are sketches, aren't they? Done at the time.
That's why I'm asking, what's your fascination in this case of the sketch? You're talking about something else. Whether or not these buildings have some sort of energy being drawn to it, they drew it kind of like a digital board, then we might as well get the real pictures then. And then we can question how do they capture? Go ahead, Charles.
That's a good point, Mark. You never see birds, but you never see anything in a lot of these so-called old photos.
Because they're art renditions. Because they're art renditions. Why would they put those in? This is the whole thing. This is literally a sketch. It's not the real pictures.
We're not talking about this. He's talking about the other pictures.
There was other pictures that okay. Again, they can make real pictures still become like an artist picture. Remember, guys, we're in a technology where we have digital and green screen. So unless somebody can say, listen, I was there, and maybe I flew a drone up in the sky high enough that I can actually capture this, we're always looking at it from the eye level.
Okay, I got another example for you then.
Please, Integral.
What about what would you say if I said that, or what is your opinion about astrology?
Astrology is more stories. trying to gauge when we were birthed. Again, those are stories. And then, of course, they gave us pictures.
Okay. Would you say that whether there's any true validity or not to astrology, do you think that this thing called astrology and everything it entails, like the people that study every day where the planets are at in relation to the other ones that go deep on it, right? Would you say that it still has an effect on how the world moves in any capacity? Do you agree or disagree that it has some of effect?
I think it does have an effect. The word I would probably use that we already know there's patterns. So whether we use patterns with numbers, and in this case you're talking about the luminaries, is there patterns in those signs? Probably. This is why people understood about farming. It's about pattern. You have a digital sundial or whatever. You're looking at patterns at that point.
Right. Okay, but what if people who are what if all these wars and shit, somebody's actually using astrology to plan out these events that happen on certain astrological alignments and shit? Do you think it makes it real enough if it's something that's affecting our everyday environment, if you will?
Well, you gave a great example the other day there about prophecy. If you're saying you're going to be chilling in a couple of days, sitting on your couch, and then having potato chips, you prophesize. So if people are going to use astrology, or you're looking at these signs and then saying in 100 years that these things are going to come to be, and people forget the fact that there's 99 years in between, and they've been doing a lot of things to make it occur, then it's going to look like, then it was predicted in the luminaries.
Yeah, and that's something that everybody can see. Like we talk about, like these pictures, we wasn't there. We don't know about those times because it was before us. But this astrology shit is one thing that apparently has been ancient, used throughout time, and to this day we can all look up and see the same thing. So I would say that's just one example of something that we can all observe, and most people just throw out that's just bullshit. That's just the shit you read in a newspaper, and it's all a scam, right? They got people that have that attitude. But regardless, like we just established in this little line of questioning, whether you agree with it or not, it's still people are moving and the world is being affected by whatever that story is that they're getting out of it.
Well, I guess in the group at this point, if me and you were we're obviously on the Earth's surface, and we get a telescope or binoculars, we can look up at the luminaries. We all can confirm that for ourselves, and then of course they'll have all these programs. You see this particular spoon or see this alignment, but a lot of these pictures are being taken up from up high, and most of us do not see things from up high. So we're putting in a lot of grain of salt. We're taking a lot of benefit of the doubt that these things are true what they are, unless you're going to put up a drone or you're in a helicopter to confirm what these pictures are doing for us. If not, then what's the fascination? Because, we're not up here looking down. We're actually down here looking up. So how would we know these are laid out the way they are, unless you're going to trust that somebody was taking pictures from a helicopter and all that? But when you're doing art renditions, you're doing fucking cartoon pictures.
Yeah, I get it. That's why I just say astrology is the one thing that everybody can look up, and after a certain period of time, once you see enough full moons and new moons where there's no light, you notice differences, and it is something that we can look at, and people don't even accept that.
Well, you tell somebody that follows, like, say, a religious book called the Bible, a bunch of stories, and then they start seeing things in the Bible that this particular human being lived 1,000 years. Well, right. If humans haven't really changed, and then you try to explain to them, or at least share with them, you realize they never have calendars the way they have today, like they had back then. And in the biblical sign, they talk about the sun and the moon are signs. So now if they go to a solar or a lunar calendar, they'd realize you start figuring out 13 months and 28-day cycle, then you start multiplying by how many times a person's age is, like say somebody's 80 years old, you're going to get those same numbers that are in the Bible. They actually add up. But for a lot of people,
lunar cycles times the
by the age, you'll get those numbers.
Right.
If you go to a 13-month, 28-day cycle.
I got you.
And then they used to use the celebration of that odd day or whatever.
Well,
but
here's the one big hang up. What about this whole giants
I'm
thing?
just about to mention giants to you. I saved this map for you to show you. See South America here. If you zoom in, it says a word that I've noticed. Where is it now? Well, this I'll take it based on Miguel Ancium. Yeah, and then if you look at the pictures around the edge, this one here that says Miguel Ancia, it's there. Looks like giants. Look.
Yes, yeah, you're right. You take the average human, and then anything else beyond the average, we could call them giants. Now, whether or not we want to go beyond all of that and say they were 9 or 10 feet tall, you would have to see some of them to confirm it. Outside of that, they're going to give you pictures. Now, there is people that are 8 feet tall. And then there's also people that are midget based on the average. But to go beyond all of that and say, okay, well, there were giants back in those days, there could be. But anybody here been back in those days? No. So what are you using as proof? Pictures. So at that point, we're playing with our imagination. But I can also bring it back to my senses and say, okay, grounded-wise, Shaquille O'Neal is 7'2". There's a kid in basketball, 7'6".
Okay, Don.
Yes.
I got one for you though. Just like the brother Yahweh on here, he calls himself a Christian, right? And I think most Christians definitely believe in the story about these Nephilim, fallen angels, right?
Yes.
I never called myself a Christian.
No, you never did Yahweh.
Okay.
But anyway, carry on. I agree.
But yeah, see, so we're never going to get rid of
Yahweh's
that.
a Hebrew Israelite, I think.
That imagined reality.
Yeah, I am is real. Like I'm real. Yeah.
Right.
That's a good
yes.
one,
So go ahead, Intergroove. You're talking about the word believe gives it away, by the way. Once a person says they believe, we're talking about imagination. Carry on.
Right. But that's
not what I'm talking about.
No, not about you, Yahweh. Intergroove is
this idea that we have a large segment of the population that accepts the story about the Nephilim, right? So we're never going to get that out of the collective conscious, right? That's something we have to all keep in mind and consider when we're talking to people. Is when they're considering the realm of possibilities, I always say, oh, you don't think this, you think what I'm saying about this thing is crazy, but don't forget, I'm pretty sure you believe the Nephilim story is real. So if that can be real, how come other shit can't be, right? Why wouldn't astrology have have some validity, or why wouldn't some other tribal belief system have more validity than people give it credit for, because they believe that Nephilim happened. So
okay, so this is the thing. Once a person puts in a belief, it can't be real now. Okay, so the sense is, me and you in the group can take a whole bunch of Christians to a basketball game or volleyball game. I said, you see how tall they are? That's real. Now the belief now is a story. So it's always fun when I hear people talk about, and you're just using it as an example, belief and real. Real is something you can pick up with your senses, objectively. Just because I read a book, the book is real, but the story could be a belief. And this is where most people are. That's why you can't argue with them, because they're confused. They're confused already.
That's why you should see your real life when you hear people talking.
Well,
it's not a belief, but I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I think
I
can only see my real life when you talk, right? Because I can't reference something that don't exist.
You know, in the group, when you're talking to those people, you're talking to children, right?
Well, I mean, I was going to bring up another prime example, man. You can marry a woman, bro, and be with her 10, 20 years, and then all of a sudden she flips on you and acts like a totally different person, and then come to find out the whole time you were imagining her to be completely different. And
I made that up because that ain't my woman.
Yeah, but at the same time, there is science that proves that our neurons, our emotions do shift. Scientifically, some people might turn around and say, okay, the horoscope, your astrology has been realigned, which could be too, but on the scientific point, they could say, yeah, there's something going on. She's going through menopause, or maybe she's regression. There's value in some of the work that people have done. It's just that people say, yeah, but I don't believe in all that stuff. No, we're talking about something that people have done and talked about. A belief would be some story of some ancient person said that he used this type of herbal to help you. I said, unless you're going to apply it, then it's just a story.
Yeah, which is belief, like a leaf of a tree. Believe.
You're falling. We're always falling.
So when the leaves fall from when the leaves fall from the tree in Rome, right? So you believe of the tree.
Mm-hmm. And this is why we have stories that they show you depictuation of something landing on Mars, for example. Those are all art renditions. And then eventually people say, yeah, but I saw it in a picture. I said, but it's an art rendition, right? There's no real proof. It's kind of like somebody landing on the moon. Who was the guy with the camera that was taking the picture of the first guy that landed on the moon? A lot of people don't put two and two together.
That's what I was saying about GTA.
Wow, this is a nice one.
It's in your imagination,
wow, look at
right?
that.
Well, I got another interesting popular narrative that's kind of rolling around in circles. Is if you're familiar in the Bible or something,
That's a nice one, Jason.
Yeah, that is.
Look at that.
They talk about the little season.
This is
I can't put a building on my phone. Like a building would crush my phone. So I'm imagining it's a building. Like it's made up in my imagination. There's no building there. I'm going with what Dom's saying. There's no buildings there. If it was a building on your device would be crushed. So you make up in my imagination, I see buildings. It's just paint, or like he said, whatever Dom called it.
Well, it's a picture of 1,000 words. There's a reason why they say that. You can make up all kinds of story with any kind of picture, let alone a symbol.
That's why we're looking at it.
Yeah.
But it's just paint.
Yeah. They're fun
Maybe
to look
to
at.
use this paint.
Yeah, these buildings are cool, but
I don't want to believe whatever, right? But it's true that it's just paint.
have you really looked at you ever been around like a big ass, fully matured oak tree and shit, and looked at that motherfucker and said, you know what I mean?
Or a redwood
These
tree.
buildings are nice, but
brush your hand through them trees right there. Brush your hand through them trees.
You know what? A lot of these pictures, what they are, it's a different form of conditioning, like no different than when you're looking at sci-fi movies or whatever. They're using the green screen or digital screen to give you the impression a person can fly in the air. Now, if you're flying in the air, you're
no,
probably...
that's not right. That's not right. I'm going to have to interrupt you there. The issue is, how did they do it from the air at the time with the technology they had? Because it gets written off, doesn't it? This is obviously an aerial photograph. It
is, but this is
an aerial drawing, not a photograph.
Yeah, but this is an art rendition. This is where I was trying to make the comparison. If it'd be different if this was like a real picture, and then somebody says, okay, it was taken from say a helicopter or whatever. But a lot of them are art renditions.
Well, there is a school of thought that says they did actually have photography before they said they did, and that they were taking the photos, then turning them into lithographs like this.
Okay. We have a great topic on how that technology came to be and who was able to have privilege to use that technology, which I'm with, actually. But a lot of this stuff here is kind of like, this is what happened a long time ago. We're going to put it on black and white. We're going to put it in a book form because they realize they put the pictures on the right-hand side because they understand marketing. At this point, you're being conditioned, whether you know it or not. They're not challenged, those things.
I did read about all of these city images that are like in the air, isometric projection. I did read that there's an actual reason why they were done, and there was an actual commercial reason why they were done. I can't remember what it is now. But I can tell you one thing for certain, right? In this photo, in this picture, this is accurate. This is pretty much every building you can see in this drawing still exists today, because this is the city I live in.
What about Petra Jordan, bro? How they did that shit?
What did you say about Petra?
Petra Jordan. How did they do that? How did they pull that off the tool? in the time period they say that was made,
Oh,
right?
I have
Who the
no
fuck
idea.
knows?
I have no idea. They say it was carved, don't they? Rock carved.
Right. Yeah. Right in the side. Yeah.
I think isn't that one of the ones they moved when they flooded the they moved a lot of the stuff, didn't they, before they
No, they ain't
When
moved.
when
Petra
you look at
Jordan.
Wikipedia and all these places that tell you these architects and the time range of when they were built, and even when they built them and knocked them down, it's like some of these houses that are older than the timeline of some of these masterpieces they knocked down. It would be like 40 years later they're knocking it down already. They just
Hey.
built this masterpiece. It's like, come on, that don't even make sense. Who does that?
Pull up a real picture of Petra Jordan, bro. Just pull up any of them.
Again, guys, it's kind of like you ever see those when they do those journeys where people are digging and they're looking for old vases. For most people, the way it serves them is they're making a career out of it and they're making a buck off of it. Whether or not those things existed based on those date lines, it's just a game. So these art renditions, the people that are producing them, how it serves them is they're getting paid to produce this stuff and put it out there. What we do with it is called telephone. We start making all kinds of speculations of what we think it is, and then they'll even do the narrative. They'll put the caption at the bottom. This was done in 1948. I'm like, no, it's an art rendition. Are you telling me the art rendition was not done in 1948? Or are you telling me these things were built in 1948? It's a clever words that they use. And once you become...
Imagination.
Yeah, it's always in your imagination. That's why these are called images.
There's nothing
Now, the
there.
question would be, how does it serve? That's why I asked in a particular way to Jason, what is this fascination about that? That's all. It's not a bad thing. It's just, what's your fascination?
Really, I should have just said to you, I'm into history.
There you go. There you go.
You never meant to be into that.
Thank you. That's all, Jason.
Well, actually, I'm more obsessed with the fact that history isn't quite
share with me.
Well, thank you, Jason.
That's why he brought him to share with me, because he knows I like this stuff.
Yeah, and I've never really asked that question to you, Charles, but you enjoy it. That's all. It's not for me to pick at you and say I don't agree with that. It's just Charles liked watching pictures and all that. I could put my own spin on it. I think those are art renditions. It's not about somebody debating me on
no,
it.
what you're saying is on point. It's true, and that's what kind of sucks about it. Kind of like the truth to, or I'll say the truth to it, kind of ruins it. Like.
Well, even if they're real
can't
pictures,
trust anything we're being told. That sucks, man.
Well, you have to trust yourself. You got to trust yourself. Go ahead.
He offered the only one all the kingdoms of the world. If you only bow down and worship him.
Now, you could jump out of a plane and parachute and get a nice view too if you want. But again, even if it's a real picture, when we call real, meaning that somebody took a photography through the lens that was on a helicopter, my question is, okay, so why are you releasing this publicly? Oh, because I want to make a buck off of it. Oh, okay. That's all. And the rest of us?
It's really just my screen. I call my screen Connecticut. And Dom and Charles Woods.
Yeah, you're using names to identify the voices that you're hearing.
I call my device. Yeah, I call my device Dom.
Hey,
there you go.
I just thought of something. We had the conversation the other day about the truth zone went off about people saying government means govern the mind.
Danbury.
He's trying to say it doesn't. Well, what does entertainment mean if it's not entertain the mind?
Sure it is. Settlement, entertainment, attachment. But it's not about governing the mind. The mind governs. There's the difference. It's the mind that governs. Now we govern the mind.
Right. But that's playing word games and trying to take a shit on the etymology and this and that about it. But
the mind is like a beacon.
When it doesn't fucking matter, because the intention and the spelling is that's how you deceive people. You hide things in plain sight and you give them suggestive language, and it is governing the mind because that's what they're doing.
Sound that's deceiving.
It can be.
It's only deceiving if you understand it. If it's just noise to you, you ain't gonna take it in. You're just gonna be like, that's noise. But because you know the definition of the sound, it affects you differently.
And people hear what they want to hear. But the government is offering a service. The government saying, let me serve you. Let me serve your mental government. God was saying the mind is governing, not the government's mind. So the government say, "Let me serve you."
Shit, no, they don't do that.
Well, they serve somebody. They might not serve the masses.
They don't serve me, bro.
No,
I'm
they don't
fucking
serve
blind, disabled, and they ain't serving me shit.
Yeah.
They've been
There you go. You can confirm that in the group. Yeah.
leaving me at the doorstep.
It's like the degree. What direction? Who's being entertained with the entertainment of the mind? Who's being government? You know, are they governing us, or are they governing somebody else? You know, to me, I would lean towards the government works for the corporations. They don't work for us.
They govern in the honeypot of salaries and paychecks that come out of that shit. That's what it's all about.
And then they openly talk about. Go ahead, Charles.
Why are I want to know why most cops are fucking narcissistic.
Because they're selected to be assholes. Because their agenda.
Yeah. Charles, why are most women somewhat attractive when they're selling perfume? Do you think they're handpicked?
Of course.
So then same with the police officers. They actually have probably a protocol and a way to govern or figure out who's the best type of police officers that they want. Just because they report the police are there to serve the people, which are the nobles, they're not there to serve you. So why are they narcissists? Because they are handpicked for those type of people. It's like, why are some of the best police officers handpicked and plucked out of the academy and now they work for CIA or KGB? Because they have certain qualifications work for them. The police aren't there to work for you.
Like Charles was saying, if you don't know the meaning of it, then how you know the police is there?
Well, you see uniforms. Now you start identifying by uniforms.
When they're ripping you out of your car and they're beating you into the ground, they're like,
there you go.
You made me do this.
I don't give a fuck how off grid on the system and fucking I'm in my own lane. Fucking, if you see a cop car pull up, you know what time it is, brother. So you can never get away from.
Most places, yeah.
When the cop pulls up, my heart always drops. I'm like, damn.
I told myself what a cop car pulling up is. Like when you come home and your dog.
It means you better put your fucking shoes on and get your mind right and play the game, bro, because the fucking game just showed up.
When the cop car pulls up, that's like a fucking infection pulling up.
But the thing is, Charles, you're driving one of the corporate's devices. That's why they pull up to you. If all of a sudden now you start walking and now they pull you over and say, listen, are you wearing those Nikes? Well, yeah. Did you jaywalk? Well, yeah. Well, there's rules. They're enforcing rules. You just happen to be in the rules. They don't give a shit about who. They don't give a shit who you are.
Rules.
Yeah,
you didn't even break a rule, but they'll make it up and say you did.
Well, again, that's why they use the word. Some people are above the law, or in this case, above policies. They don't play by policy. They're expecting you to play by it. And if you don't, they pay people.
That's a nice map, Jason.
Yeah.
The program that they can see the police.
Yeah,
Danbury's, I think near Bridgeport or near New York or something, but they were Danbury's had a lot of factories in Danbury. So Connecticut was a big, how do I put it? They were a big manufacturing state, especially, they got a submarine base too, Groton, which is a nuclear sub base, allegedly. These are nice maps.
Yeah, I can send them you if you want. I'll put them onto my Google Drive if you want to download them.
I would love to get a map that shows how New Britain would have looked with all the big factories in the 1800s, because New Britain, Connecticut was the hardware city of the world. Now it's hardly a city. Fucking politicians ran into the ground.
They say put your hands up so you put them down, because that ain't your daddy. So
get your hands out your pocket.
Yeah, so you kept them in your pocket. So
sit on the ground like a dog.
Yeah, and you stood up. So because that's not your daddy. So when we did that, we stopped making built to last stuff. We stopped making stuff. We started having fun and recreation all the time. American made, lifetime warranty.
When they used to build buildings with all these towers on them, like the CN Tower and all that, that was that technology. Go ahead.
They said, let us serve you. Let us serve you Nabisco crackers. Let us serve you Honda cars. Let us serve you. While your hands are down, you're not making American made no more. You're not making rocking chairs that last 100 years anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Say, well,
I'm
let's
gonna
make
jump
it.
off here at 1 o'clock. We got
Say,
some
let us
time.
make your cigarettes for you. You know, you don't grow your own tobacco no more because you put your hands down. I mean, yeah, you put them up because they said you put them down because they told you to put them up.
Chill, Jadakiss. Put your hands up. Nah, put them down.
So you start
Give me
rebelling
that
against
fucking crown.
So most of these buildings, do they even serve anymore for their structure, or they make them mostly into economic reasons? You know, like a tourist site, or they put or Starbucks in all these buildings. No, that's what I'm saying. Like once you start getting into the closer of the pictures, opposed to the aerial views, then you start seeing economics.
Well, they use them now to make money off them, but I think it had way better purpose. These people don't know what to do with the structures.
What do you think they were buying with all that money back in the day when they didn't have like TVs and fucking all the shit we got?
In my eyes, they called it architecture for a reason, because it created an arc.
I think in the group back in those days, a lot of people that are wealthy would have hedged something. You know, their name would have meant something, whether or not they're actually moving any resources. They would say, I'm good for it. It's like when they hedged the gold onto the fiat currency, and then they moved it from the gold to the oil.
That's stupid.
Think about this,
To
bro.
be knowing that spending all that money, to me, is stupid.
We all broke ass motherfuckers trying to figure this shit out spiritually, bro, and our place in the world and what this life is without materialism. A lot of us go without a lot of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a rich man and you got, I don't know, $2 or $3 million, at what point do you fucking like have the spiritual awakening that we all come to and just say, you know what, I got $3 million, I'm gonna buy me a little house by a lake and I'm gonna fucking just chill. I made it. Why has it got to be this? Why is it all this billion and
it's an
every
addiction
day?
and an ego?
It can be. It can be. You're always supplementing the ego in some way.
The people married
It's never enough, man. They're chasing that high.
They can be. We're all chasing something. You know,
It's like, what are they buying with their money even? What, you buy a yacht and then what? Oh, you buy an island?
What they like to do? Fuck it,
I mean,
let 'em.
if you could buy your own island, I don't think none of us would be doing no weirdo shit on it, but we definitely would be chilling on that motherfucker and enjoying life, bro.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be
I would
involved in like,
man, if I could buy an island, what?
Well,
yeah, bro.
When people used to do the, you know, when you used to have the Playboy Club member or whatever, that to me is another Epstein. They were doing all kinds of business, but they distracted people in the front with naked women and rappers or whatever. That was just their front. Yeah. So again, it's one of those things.
What's up, Tommy?
You know, a lot of people are going to consume all kinds of stuff. Do you need a
and live there?
What's that?
Like they were saying something about buying an island. You just can't just go to that island and just start living there.
Mm-hmm.
You can if you buy it. If you fucking one of them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Why would everyone outside of America, I guess, don't know nothing about buying islands? We the only ones know about that.
Yeah, and the only reason I even started thinking about, hey, these motherfuckers can actually buy an island is goddamn Epstein.
So a stick
I was
in the
like,
wood,
yeah, these motherfuckers can buy.
You want a stick in the wood, you gotta go up and buy it.
But the thing is, most of us don't realize we've already been quarantined. Most of us probably don't know really what's going on in China, let alone what's going on in India. So this is the quarantine. America, again, is a very small population. Canada's even smaller population. You add them together, what are you at? 450 million people? There's other countries, regardless of those numbers are right. There's technology in China you're not going to see in America. You're just not going to see it. They have other stories that are going on there. And this is why most people forget. The distraction is to think it's out there. Because if you want to be distracted, there's all kinds of distraction. Why are they building and spending trillions of dollars on the Panama Canal? Why are they doing whatever in Greenland? Why are they doing whatever in Russia? These and what they drip down are stories.
Yeah, alters. Yeah, alter ego. Yeah.
You know, this is about anchoring you here. This is not about releasing you here.
In your mind personally. Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't the anchor the Ankh, the cross?
There you go. That's a good one, Charles. Yes. But even that, we would have to assume it's a bad thing. How do we not know we didn't come here for the fun? I pursue it as fun, even though I have moments of shitty moments. You know, but it's not always about me. But for a lot of people, it's only about
it originally was for the fun and to have this experience, but it only takes one fucking moron to ruin it for everyone.
No, right now, if you wanted to, bro, you could make the rest of your life. You could be a beach bum, bro. You can go anywhere there's a fucking beach and post up, dude.
There you go,
and live a life.
That's right. Whether
you can, bro. Get a surfboard, bro. You'll fucking find a life quick, bro.
That's right.
A new life right there, bang, just doing shit.
I got in my car.
Yeah, I'll find a new life all right in the afterlife. And I fucking break my neck.
You're so sweet, Charles. I love it. You know, but again, it's what you make of it. You know, now I'm not going to deny the fact that I have to give people the benefit of the doubt. There's certain things in their life sucks. And then there's other people, if I started talking to a whole bunch of trillionaires or billionaires, which I'm not going to have that opportunity, but let's say I did. I know a couple of buddies.
Yeah, they're living it up. It's all good.
They're living it up, but for some of them, especially if they're billionaires, no, they're working 70 hours a week still. They got a business to run. I got families to support. And they're not just talking about their own family. They're running probably a company that has 600 people working for them. That's their choice. Other people would say, Dom, even if I wanted to do that, I couldn't do that. You know, it's easy to look from one's own shotgun view and say, well, life sucks. It could be, as you're still breathing it. You know, again, this is what they do. They quarantine people. We're going to show in certain states this, in certain countries this. And then we're going to tell you a story that you're going to have to believe. Donald Trump.
That's it. They made us believe a story. So
it's just governmental.
Right. So we have to confront that. Whether it was real or not, this and that. No, it happened. It was made real.
Yeah.
We were all affected. So we all have been transgressed upon, and yes,
ask for it. I mean, I can't say you. It seems like the people ask for it, though. They actually be educated.
Right, but once there's fraud and deception involved, it becomes racketeering or crime at that point.
But they call governmental, though. They already call governmental.
Again, behind every rich person, there's probably a crime being had. That's just the cruel reality of all of that.
Yeah,
you know, even when people talk about science, how do you not know science is not pseudo? You know, and how a lot of, I'm not saying most, but some people, when they talk about science, they use religion as their crutch. Well, we're not religious. No, you're in a different dogma. Science, there's a lot of things about science. I would ask a person, I say, okay, so how does this serve you? What do you mean? Well, you have empirical evidence. That's nice. So how does it serve you? It's a story. And that's the same with commerce. You know, what would most people do if they understood that? Well, there's a certain type of organization, they print money and they can do whatever they want. And then if you're not winning at it, you can do a system that they allow you to do. It's called a bankruptcy. Oh, okay. So then it's a rigged game. Yeah, you can call it a rigged game. You can call it a scripted game. You can just call it a game.
Myself.
You know, a lot of people might be upset. I said, but what are you gonna be able to do about it? If most people were honest, they would say, I'd want to buy into the system. There you go. You'd want to be part of it. Do you think you'd even be good at it? Probably not. Would you want to buy the fake Mona Lisa and move over a couple $millions? What do you mean fake Mona Lisa? There's lots of them, they say. That's why they do sporting games. They're moving money around.
Mona Lisa is a person that used to stay in my neighborhood.
Mona Lisa.
Advertising.
Because if I imagine those things, that's an altar.
Lisa.
It's an altar. And I can see it don't exist. I'm making up Mona Lisa paintings.
Yeah. You get a whole bunch of people that are religious and you say, listen, you read the Bible. Why don't you read the Satanic Bible? What do you mean? If you're honest, you'll find out where you stand. The Satanic Bible actually would reveal most people, it's talking about me. Of course it's talking about you. It's all about you. Yeah,
The
but
first chapter I read, it talked about the ego and stuff. It's pretty
sure it does.
interesting.
Yeah.
You
Now,
read
they
it,
might,
you read it though.
now, what they do is they look for extreme cases. Sorry, yeah, they're looking for extreme cases. Well, Beyonce, they're Satanists. I say, yeah, you're looking at extreme cases, but you don't think it's all about you. It's like when somebody said, "Dom, I only care about my family." I said, "Okay, so you don't care about anybody else's family?" Okay, well, here's the difference. Monarchies care about their family, and they also have to govern your family. There's the difference. It's always funny when I hear a person say, "Dom, I'm an entrepreneur." I said, "Are you helping the community? Besides selling your product and your service, are you able to hire 5, 10, 15, 100 people?" Well, no, Walmart can. Macy can. Goodyear can, even though Goodyear is going to probably poison our waters. And then people are going to say, well, that's the government's job. No, the government's job was to actually allow Goodyear to actually plant one of their factories into that town. Most people do not want to actually help their community.
The corporations are people or persons.
It's us. It's us. Government is us. Religion is us. It's all humans.
It's the people getting what they asking for.
I don't know if they're always asking for it. They're probably getting it out of naivety, but they'll receive it. Most people will receive it.
Right? Say a man, he want a bad bitch in the hood, and he tell the AI he want a bad female dog and heat, right? So the AI send that man a female dog and heat. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
So the people asking for the government to do something, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, but most people aren't really asking the government. They're just still being trained with the old way. We're going to teach you how to read and write. Okay, you don't know how to write your name, so put an X here.
But they asking to learn how to read and write.
Well,
without saying that, you know, when you go to the grocery store, you don't always ask for every product you pick up. You ask for it when you go to the shelf and pick it up. You don't have to say it out your mouth what you're asking for.
For a lot of people, that would be tough for them because when they think of asking, they're saying that they're willingly doing it. Most people are either going to receive it, tolerate it, or be conditioned for it. I don't think a lot of people...
They willingly learn how to spell so they can hear the government bullshitting them.
Well, I don't know if they're willingly, maybe their parents might coerce them to go to school.
But they the only one thinking, right? No, they told themselves their parents coerced them. They made that up.
I'm with you, but most people aren't going to be aware of that.
Yeah, they don't want to. They telling themselves they don't want to be aware of it.
Well, they don't want a lack. Most people don't think they lack that. Most people think, when they think, literally, they're using their thinking capacity. They're going to justify.
So how can someone teach you how to learn? Like, who taught you learning?
Well, they conditioned me. They didn't teach me. They conditioned. That's because I'm aware of it. At the time, I might have said.
I've always been skeptical of information, in school and shit. I was always filtering it through a bullshit.
That's why you're aware of what you're aware of, Intergroove. You've always been suspicious, so you probably saw through the curtain of the Wizard of Oz, where a lot of people don't. Most people they believe in that stuff.
Who taught you what a teacher is?
The language.
You taught yourself. It sounds like that's what you're saying.
I cried my first day of first grade. My mom had to leave work to come back. Yeah,
run in the groove. I'm with you. Let's run.
I picked it up. I was like, this sucks. I don't want to be here.
I'm with you, Yahweh, the way you talk. But for most people, what they just hear, they're hearing a guy that's on a fucking egg cart in the middle of the street fucking yip-yapping. With all sincerity. That's how they perceive you.
They asking for government services. They don't realize that they're the only one thinking.
Mm-hmm. That takes a lot. That takes awareness, and at that point, it's like, oh fuck me. What am I? I've been lying to myself the whole time. I said, yeah, you've been.
Yeah, it's called they lying to you. Like they lied to you all your life.
I lied to myself.
Yeah.
It's a story, and even now, as I'm speaking, I could still be doing the different variations of the story. So I'm even more suspicious of myself at that point.
The people hear what they want to hear.
Yep. That's true. A lot of people do want to hear what they want to hear.
Yeah, I want to hear what I want to hear. That's why I make my own music. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, Intergroove, you're going to question yourself from within. So, you're actually balancing yourself. For a lot of people, they'll hear things and then they'll parrot that information. They'll never challenge that within themselves. Give them a toy, go in your room, play with it. No, Dom, I just want to play with it here. So most people are on the superficial level of things. It's always fun when I hear people, I'm listening. I said, no, listening is an internal thing. What you're doing is you're hearing each other externally. And what are you hearing? Are you accepting it blindly? It's like when a man sees a very gorgeous, attractive, a woman that has a certain body type or whatever. I said, but what else are you really hearing? Should I get to know her a little bit better, or am I just being pulled by her attraction of her appearance?
And you translating what's happening the whole time.
Here's a new perspective for you that I can share firsthand is when you find yourself visually impaired, aka definitely legally blind, and you can't even see faces, but you come across a stranger somewhere in a store or something in passing, and she speaks to you a little bit, and she's got a nice voice, but you can't see her at all, and you can't, right? So what is your perspective then on this thing they call love, which is like God is love, right? And this and that. Well, if you can't even see, you realize how much of this life that we experiencing is all visual. And when you're left with the audible and the sensing and the feeling, all the other senses,
You know what they say?
you realize how many
Not
people are just on
everything
the
ugly
visuals.
is evil, and not everything beautiful is good or heavenly.
That's true.
Look at the devil. They explain he's gonna come looking handsome, a smooth talker. Who does that remind you of?
I guess when I'm hearing in the group say that, what happens is it either A, reveals how much we're over senses ourselves with our visual, or other people start tapping into those other senses more. So I'm going to hear more opposed to this. Because a lot of people, as they hear, what they're really doing is they're gauging more times not with their visual sight. That's what the purpose of TV and these technology do. When people say that they hear, that's why when some people say, what are you feeling? What are you seeing? They're telling different things about themselves. Very few people say, what am I hearing? Because most people use their visual sight. We get bombarded with our visual sight. The ones that have to put a lot of effort and say, okay, but what about my other senses?
Big ass TV screens, right?
Yeah.
So we can see an extreme close up of some dickhead's face on this big ass screen that they talked us into buying.
You bought the screen. You paid
It's the
for
magic
that.
ball.
Yeah, you're right, Yahweh. You do pay for it, but what are you paying for? So when somebody sees like a movie, like a shark movie, they'll be seeing the shark movie, but yet are they really hearing in the music in the background that's actually playing?
I know.
Hey, bro.
Going.
Hey, think about this. How many of those fucking nature shows, quote unquote, Discovery and all that shit, sharks, how much of that is actually real or not just CGI stage, fake nature shows?
It's just a screen.
No, it is. It is a screen, but if we're going to play with our senses, like, okay, let's go back to what Jason was sharing. If you were literally up on a helicopter taking pictures of those things, your other senses would be engaged. But once you're only seeing it through a picture, one sense is being engaged. Your visual sense. You're no longer like, as you're touching the camera, you're smelling the air, and as you're hearing the wind in the background, as you're looking at that picture, all your senses, even if you stick out your tongue and taste the air if you want, they're all being engaged. That's why when they actually dumb us down with the written work, dumb us down with the pictures, it's literally, you're dumbing down at that point. You're no longer fully engaging in your senses. That's why when somebody said, no, it doesn't make any senses, which one are we talking about? Because there's many senses, and not just based on the common sense of 5.
What you asking for?
I'm hearing Yahweh, and I'm with you. Maybe some people will grasp what you're saying, but for a lot of people,
they never told anyone, from my knowledge, that you have to buy a screen.
No,
you don't have.
No.
Yeah. So, like Charles was saying,
how can you pass up when apparently you can get a fucking 85-inch for like $200 these days?
You got what you asked for.
But what they're helping, whether you're buying it or stealing it, what you're going to do is you're going to set it up, and then you're going to consume whatever comes out of it.
Which is you getting what you asked for.
Yeah, to a certain point, yes. I'm with you, Yahweh. I'm with you. Whether you buy a radio, you're going to consume whatever comes out of it. Whether you buy a book, you're going to consume what's in that book. And people put a lot of effort to understand the book format, whether it's the left-hand page or the right-hand page, and how you scroll down it. Again, there's people that get paid for this kind of stuff. focus groups, marketing genius. Obviously, in the groove, love you, where you went to school to learn this stuff. It's like, wow, fuck, we're being played with. Of course we are.
Yeah,
But
they
for a
build
lot
a
of people,
world.
yeah, go ahead.
100%.
They build a world on top of my mind. I allowed it, right? I'm a real estater, right? A realtor, and I allowed the world to be built on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is endless, right?
Yeah, like, look, we think about the government. I worked in state government for 10 years, and I worked in some pretty critical. I worked in both state taxes, social services, and the major state university, all in the same under as a state worker, a civil servant, right? So I could tell you on every level, everything that happens, you got all these people, quote, in government. We see government as the same. 95 to 99 probably percent of that, it's all people just managing the paperwork side, just pushing things up and down, and you got different structures. Oh, you got to have a mail room. You set all that shit up, but it's so far removed from what's happening with the agenda at the top, and you only need a handful of people to set an agenda and set things in motion. And so all of our neighbors are the people that work in these. If you live in a suburb, I guarantee you got government workers in your subdivision. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why they're trying
Once
to go to a
everybody
paperless
realizes,
society. Yeah, paperless society. Get some software to run all those
that's
positions.
why they're trying to get rid of motherfuckers right now before we figure out, hey,
Yeah.
no, we could stop doing this right now if we decide to do something different. Right now, they said no different. They're going to ease us into flying fucking police drones and shit. That's
Yeah. Well, again, it's one of those things where once people realize how they've been conditioned, and then the transhumanism and the depopulation agenda, what they've been doing for whoever they are for a while, because if people were honest and say, listen, how many of you want to actually go back to nature? Most people that are in a cult are going to have a very difficult time, first of all, breaking away. It might sound nice. Oh, okay, I can break away from
bro.
this.
They're going to have these AI drones. That's what they're talking there. That's what we're paying to have happen.
Yeah.
To us.
And I'm participating in all that because I got drones, no different than a guy that drives an Uber car. The guy that's driving an Uber car, what he's doing is he's helping lay out the new drawing.
Yeah,
So
it's
that
all relative.
Yeah. So now it's the same thing here. When they actually pay people to do art renditions, it's to condition generations after generation. They're not question those things. If you don't question those things, you're going to follow it aimlessly and say, well, I really like these pictures, which is nice. But how does it serve you? You know, I usually just say, how does it serve? Because serving oneself, that's a given. That's a mute point. But how does it serve other people if you have kids or you have a community? You know, and again, I get
that's
when
the
people
question. How does it serve other people? That's the best.
And it doesn't. For most people, if they're being honest, they're selfish. Most of us are engulfed in the me, and they're self-absorbed. But then they'll get defensive, and I'm like, okay, well, that reveals it's all about me, because you're not even calm enough to listen to hear it out and say, is there a possibility I'm living solely for myself?
Well, then if you know you have something in common with somebody on some level, the trick or the game at that point, or the point of interacting would be to figure out, okay, what is it? Right? It's like, oh, okay, maybe we don't agree politically, maybe we don't like the same sports teams, but boy, you're a genius at this one skill that I got a great idea for, and we can come together and bang, right? And it's like, there's more than one reason to have something in common with somebody, right? So as long as people like us, we're all like, we think things out. That we got something that can be said about all of us. We can at least think things out, and we can argue it to a point where somebody goes, all right, bro, I get it, you win. If we had to, you know what I mean?
Well, some of us are trying to not cult up as much as we have to. So when you get a bunch of, to bring it back to what Charles has talked about in the past, you bring it to a bunch of police officers that have culted up. They protect and defend their own, and they need an enemy.
Well, yeah, because they won't stand out on their own. They'd rather be in with a group as safety instead of standing on their own as their safety, as being able to stand, you know, like we do. We have the ability to question these things. A lot of people don't even.
The thing is, in the group, it would be so easy on human behavior to get two major religions, Christians and Muslims, to war against each other. It's the easiest thing to do. especially with media.
Right.
So now to have a whole bunch of people that are police officers, it'd be different if there was an organization, which are usually private, called gangs. But the ones that are like stragglers, I said, you're going to lose to that organization called the police. They're not actually the gangs turn on you. And then they turn around and say, no, we don't worry about putting you in jail.
Well, here's the thing, bro. Like little old ladies that are chilling, they've lived a life and they're of a certain age that they're, you know, just all they have is the TV and their grandkids every now and then, right? So they're watching the shit. They're looking on TV and they're seeing this ICE shit. Regardless of the politics involved, no old lady that's lived a life as longer than any of us here have is looking at that and going, yeah, that's a positive. That's what I wanted to see at the end of my life. This country, they lived even more of it than we have so far.
Well, it depends how they've been conditioned. If those old ladies have been bombarded with their senses,
probably,
in this case,
yes.
Yeah, they probably say, oh, I see somebody dark skinned. I see somebody of Asian. So those are bad people. At that point, you already know they're conditioned because that's how old they are.
Right, but I think things are at an extreme right now that it's inexcusable on any of those.
Everything right now is at an extreme end of groove. You can learn a lot about spiritual stuff if you want. This is why we're living in an age of information.
But we just went through a thing that we had to accept as real, right? It was news. It was White House commented, legit, where a lady got popped in the face, bro, on the street in an American city by some dude that looked like he was playing Call of Duty in real life, and he just popped this bitch in the face, bro. And we just move on like, okay, well, we arguing about whether it was, I don't know, justified or I don't even know what people, like, bro, that is.
But we lived in an age, in a groove that.
Extreme.
Venezuela got crashed. Argentina got crashed. Jamaica got crashed. And a lot of them have to do with the World Bank and IMF.
Right, so, it's the bigger picture. But
a lot of people, what they do is it becomes news, but it becomes news, and then tomorrow they're waiting for the next news. Most people, these are water cooler talks.
Who among us can really see all that shit happening day after day and hear this horrible shit about these files that just came out, and don't even mention the pizza and hot dogs again, which a lot of people are talking about that again, right?
Sure they do. They're gonna do a retro.
Well, you know, there's a rumor of a certain video out there that was on a certain laptop that got confiscated. And there's a video on there that's pretty horrific. And people have said they've seen it. And 12 New York detectives that witnessed what was on that laptop after they seized it, 9 of them are no longer with us, if you know what I mean.
Well,
if something like that were to come out, there's nobody on the face of this planet, bro, that could be not affected by the outside events, if you will, the news, quote unquote. Because this shit is so ingrained since birth, dude, since we came out. We didn't stand a chance, right? All of us were born into this world and it was already fucked up and in full swing, bro. We had to suck on mama's titty for a long time. We couldn't even figure this shit out until, we all 30, 40, 50 years old figuring this shit out. And it's like, you know, it is what it is, bro. Like 9/11 and
how many times people go to work early in the morning, by the time they get to work, if it's an hour drive, you've listened to the news repeat itself 4 or 5 times.
Dude, every fucking day, bro. Every fucking day we wake up, it's this fucking same shit just churning along.
Or older people, back in the day, 11 o'clock. You listen to the news. A lot of those things, even though some of them, if not a lot of them, are real, they're distractions. Because what they're doing is they're feeding the public, hey, we're going to legalize hemp in one country, okay? But meanwhile, pass all kinds of other policies behind that same...
Okay, I'm with you, Dom, but consider this. Okay, you, right? What if you're sitting there, or me, or any of us, and we say, you know what? There's people that are making money, like making hemp products and shit, because they've done the paperwork in their little area to be able to fucking do their shit and make a business out of it. I'm being denied a business opportunity. I think I can make a better product than that. Well, you could go to a lawyer and say, hey, I want to I want to write up. I'm going to petition the court. I'm going to petition the state to make an exemption for business commerce purposes. I want to run a legit business, and you form an LLC over it, and you become a research company. There's no way that they can deny if it's going on anywhere. You can legally, quote unquote, in this legal paperwork world, write up documents, make a sound argument, and really we could all be doing anything. We could be doing what they're doing. We could form a DNA research company, make all this money doing research, and then it could fail at the end, but we already made fucking 4 or 5 years of failure money, right? That's all they doing, bro.
Yeah, that's the business plan. And then some of them will say, okay, you got to have a patent. A lot of the people that are
you can have a patent. It doesn't have to work. You just have to have an idea, and you can make money on it.
And
It don't have to work.
And the people you pay, they will protect you. So the people that are selling hemp now, they're helping condition the generations. For the big corporations said, we're going to make a lot of new laws or policies that all these small little hemp companies are going to be squeezed out. It's business as usual. It's kind of like the Tea Party or selling liquor. It's the same ideal. Now, some people will say, okay, well, Dom, but hemp is good for you. It depends how you use it. If you're just selling it for smoking purposes, it has a very small value. You know, this is why when they squashed it initially, it's because they were trying to protect the cotton industry. So again, it's
I've
like
had hemp cheese.
You know, again,
Hemp
it's
cheese.
like, hemp cheese. You can wear your clothes. That's hemp.
Yeah.
You can absorb it, and you know, our skin is the biggest organ. But again, this is why pharmaceuticals do what they do. It's business as usual, and they hire all kinds of people. So now it's a matter of how do we get a whole bunch of people to not want to do this anymore? Because to end pharmaceutical, you're basically saying we're going to squash all the industries of the world. It'll be like coming in with the concept. I've seen a show about this. Where
Hey, bro, it's drug dealing.
It is drug dealing, and some of it could be medicine. But again, most of us were consumers. So now, if all of a sudden free energy truly did exist, let's play the ideal that free energy is, and it's before we offer it to the public, let's do some brainstorming. What are we going to do with all the industry that are going to be squashed with this free energy? And it's not one of those, okay, well, let's not worry about that. No, let's really deal with it.
Honestly, bro, honestly, my little area, I got an electric company that's like just over one state. It's statewide, and it's a co-op. They call it a co-op. Right, but they're even downsizing and outsourcing and getting things down to. So it looks like they're trying to phase themselves out right now.
Well, they probably are, but like again, the ideal of free energy. Okay, as much as people want to say the word, but to have free energy. So then, how are the devices going to be built? Who's going to pay for those devices? Are those free too? We're trying to look for a society that more is like a Borg society, where once you're born. Everything's offered to you. Okay, so what's offered to me? Free. We're going to talk about free shelter. Like, you know, after a while, it's not even about free. It's about, we just offer it to you. You know, I just heard the other day that Finland is the one country as a test plate that they make sure there's no homeless people in their country. And they address it from the bottom up, not the other way around, making sure that they have a job first. No, we'll give you shelter for whenever. And then we're going to start dealing with if there's any mental issues, and then maybe get you some sort of job or whatever. But outside of that, housing is a staple. What kind of debt would that country eventually have to be to do all of that? But they weighed it out. To pay money to help homeless people, it's better to actually shelter them. But that's just one example. How do you do that with a bigger country?
Look what Iceland did once they found out their bankers were up to some fuckery. What did they do?
Yeah.
They all came together. They got rid of them motherfuckers.
They did, but again, you know, those motherfuckers are still other places. That's the sad part. You get rid of one.
The thing is, they regulated their shit. They said that's what we should be doing. As soon as we call out something we recognize as bullshit, we're supposed to say, "Hey, that's all fine and good, but you're not doing that from here on out. So you're gone, and we get somebody else, and you got to keep an eye on them motherfuckers."
And in some industries, like when you had DMT, they already were phasing that out. So they would deny it for longest of time, make billions of dollars, maybe even pay people to sue them, so they can actually say it's a one-time suing case. It's like the tobacco industry, but they're phasing into something else. So now they get away from, you know, the chemicals in smoking, and now they do what's called vaping. Vaping is even more dangerous for a person than smoking would be. You know, especially, you know, unless it's natural tobacco. And even that, my question would be for that person, do you need to smoke all the time? Well, no. So then you're addicted to the chemicals. You know, again, this is where it sounds nice when we talk about these ideals, but we have to understand how the system really works. And regardless if the people that are running it are fucking corrupt, it's the masses that keep it alive. We're the ones that are in. We have the numbers.
And I think most people, like, the one thing I got in common with my normie friends is we all, we came from the club life and the fucking, the friendship circles over the years. It is the system, right? We like going to work and having fun on the weekends. So most people do enjoy that. So they don't want to fucking tear down this. Most people are not going to say, no, let's tear down the system. They want to change it. They want to put the right people in place. That's all we're doing, except the only thing is we're relying on this voting shit. Instead of putting real people in place. Instead of weirdos that like to do weirdo shit on islands and shit.
Well, again, the voting is to gauge where the public's at. The people that are being selected have already been tested in their system. That's why they select certain leaders, and then they just want to say, listen, let's see what the public thinks. If we basically are having a problem with them liking it, we'll use our media to slant it. Like a guy like Donald Trump shouldn't be represent any party. He shouldn't even be a politician. But people are so caught up in the me, and that's why they raised him up from the bottom up. Let's bring him into WWE. Let's get that crowd that believe in fucking wrestling is real. And then let's bring him into The Apprentice. And now let's bring him into the political position. That tells more about the masses than about him. He's nobody. He doesn't count. But the masses count. And what are they voting for?
Right. We could be voting every day instead of talking about this shit. Right now, we could be fucking filling out our vote on these issues, yes or no, on fucking all this shit. Everybody in the fucking any area, and we could govern ourselves without these fucking dickheads.
But in an indirect way, in a direct or indirect way, we are voting. We're voting for the corporations. We buy products, and they're the ones that finance. Yeah.
That too, right? But at the same time, what are we gonna do otherwise besides?
Well, money. If we're going to use money, we must use it as a double-edged sword. Money can be used as power. In this particular sense, let's say people do want to revolt and say, listen, I'm no longer going to buy Nike stuff. I'm no longer going to buy all this. Because, as much as people don't like the gay agenda, a lot of these big corporations finance that stuff. Yeah, I'm not even against it. I just figured, okay.
They're all conglomerated with each other at this point, with the Black Rocks and the State Streets and the other Vanguard.
That's right. And they're informed. Those are the companies that are in all of these countries. But meanwhile, the citizens in each country, even though I don't think we need to be classified as citizens, what they end up doing is they become nationalist. But I'm like, but all these big corporations are globalist. So you're at a disadvantage. You're coming to a gang fight with toothpicks, and they're coming with guns and knives.
Hey, Bud Light, bro. What did Bud Light put on their can of their beer, bro?
I can't think of offhand, but please share.
You don't remember that?
No,
I remember that. There was a scandal about it, wasn't there? Was it about?
What did they put on it, guys?
A lady boy. a famous TikTok lady boy was on a can of Bud Light, bro. That was a big scandal. That's the agenda, bro. It's infecting everything on purpose.
People pay for their screen to see that.
What's that?
People pay for their television or device to see it.
What do you mean? No, you can walk into any store, bro. You don't even have to be on the internet. You could be some fucking backwoods fucking nobody fucking just walking in the store to grab you a 6-pack of Bud Light and it's got a fucking ladyboy on it. But you're like, what the fuck is this shit? Huh.
But at the same time, are these people making their own beer? What they're doing is they're showing that I'm going to condition myself to go into some sort of store and purchase an item. There's the condition.
Hey, bro, it's like food.
They provide a service of ladyboy beer.
But it's about the trick. It's about the bait and switch. It's about the, hey, look, you like this? Oh, that means you like this. It's like, no, bro. Like, Now we entered into a whole different level of conversation when you just wanted to buy your favorite beer because you like the taste and whatever. You know what I mean?
Ford truck, right? And Ford truck started selling vibrators. Like, I'm not selling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ford provides a service for trucks with vibrators.
And a lot of people will
Like
either
you said,
accept it or tolerate it. Yeah. Because they love Ford. He's kind of like a person. I only vote liberal. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go because I know Charles is going to eventually shut it down. Into Groove, Yahweh,
man.
Jason, and Charles, all you guys try to have an enjoyable day.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah, dildo bikes. Ford dildo bikes. I can see it.
Good, man.
South Park did a fucking episode on that already, so you know.
You said dildo bikes. What the fuck?
Yeah, dude. Huh. You look that one up with your Google search on or off, and you'll get different results. You know what I mean? Nah.
Okay, guys, I'm going to get off. I'll speak to you all later, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm about to jump off too in a minute.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks for.
Yeah.
All right, Jason.
Yeah, I'll speak to you later. Thank you.
Those are good.
Hey.
Good. Yeah. I'm going to the store right now. I don't know if y'all could hear me good, but
No, it's muffled and shit, but it's all right. Hey, you know, you ever engage in like things that just make you laugh online? Like, you ever got any favorite comedians you watch clips of and shit? Do you ever get about this sense of humor? Is that important? I believe it is. What say you?
oh yeah, laugh is the best medicine. Laughing to me,
Yeah,
laughing, even crying too. For some reason,
I've definitely heard more truth tellers in the comedian environment of entertainment than anything in academia. I've heard more profound shit through comedians' mouths than professors.
yeah, that's why white comedian always talks about the government. Fucking, shit. Damn.
Yeah. Comedy helped change my life, dude. When I first found Opie and Anthony clips online and Sirius Radio, I was in early. I was on XM, and finding comedians and comedic material on a daily basis at my shitty job that I hated, and then I found some fringy Buddhist principles that got me thinking about psychology in an organized way, and the comedian shit, and that changed everything for me, bro. Like, that's when I left that job and took a leap of faith in trusting yourself and having your own ideas about things outside of the matrix, really, for the first time. Like, how can I control this matrix in my own way? I know enough to where I think I got it figured out how everybody else is doing their shit, and I could do the same thing if I wanted to. I just got to think about what it is, right? Just like you. Find an angle.
George Carlin is one, and yeah, I forgot. What's his name? That passed away, that black comedian.
Recently?
No, this was a while ago.
Teresa O'Neill?
Huh?
Teresa O'Neill?
No, this comedian started in like the 90s with, what's his name?
Black comedian that died. Not Eddie Murphy's brother, huh? Charlie Murphy? He died.
No, but he's a good one too. He's hilarious, man.
I like him better than Eddie, bro. He's funnier to me than Eddie.
Yeah, Charlie Murphy's hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially on hold on.
Chappelle was brilliant. Dude, South Park. If you look at the totality of the South Park catalog over the years and how it's coincided with everything, it's probably one of the most complete anthologies of American culture wrapped up in like over 30 years of fucking.
Bernie Mac, he's one. Like Dave Chappelle, Bernie Mac, fucking
Bernie Mac. That's who you're thinking about?
Yeah, Jim Carrey, even though Jim Carrey don't really do stand-up like that, but any good Jewish ones?
You got all you gotta do, bro. You dig deep into Patrice O'Neill. He's got a lot of talk show level material, more so than just a stand-up. The stand-up's fucking hilarious too, but when he's talking in conversation about things, like he's early. I heard he's the first one that really was about the conspiracy theories. Like he was watching Alex Jones and the Obama deception and all that. He was the first one to bring that to my attention. So he was into it, and you know, that's where I got most of my truth from over the years before it was all this internet community shit.
George Carlin, it was a good one too.
Right.
Is that what you said? George Carlin, he's and then
right. And Bill Hicks, obviously, you know.
I was just about to say that, Bill Hicks, yeah. Even though I think Bill Hicks is, what's his name?
Like I grew up, I remember Sam Kinison as a kid when that first came out. And that was like, yeah, this dude's kind of on my kind of comedians I like to watch and shit. So Sam Kinison, and then you get to Rodney Dangerfield's legit. And, you know, he started late in life. It was like he didn't become a comedian until like in his 50s and shit or some shit. Yeah, bro. I know everybody's good at something, or you got something that we in the system and shit. It sucks. I get it, but if you can find one thing that's worth putting your escapism or your break, you need to take a break from this shit. Just have one thing to put yourself into, whether it's growing the perfect fucking water lily or whatever the fuck it might be, and just do that.
I need to get serious with my music. I got to start getting serious with my music.
Yeah, man.
At least take 6 hours, 7 hours a day, and just sit there and.
Hey, and when you put these thoughts into a song and it fucking pops off, right, and you listen to it, it's the best feeling ever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So you just got to keep doing that, put it out there, and keep doing it, bro. You just that's your fuck you to the system, bro. It's like, here, you want me to fucking make this angry ass song with you, motherfucker? Here you go, bang. And other people enjoy it by default, right? They ain't got to be all serious about it. You just enjoy it and be like, yeah, that encapsulates the time. We just timekeepers, bro. That's what we're here to do. We keeping time and we observing. We like a little video recorders, I think, you know. Antenna.
Yeah,
Nice
where the video recorder come from? You.
We antennas, bro. It comes from the Most High, the thing above, bro. Outside area, something outside, I would say. That's my belief. I'm here and I'm inside this thing and I'm all about that, but I'm aware there's something right outside of me that's, whenever I need information I ain't got in my head already, that shit comes to me and it's like, okay, whatever that is, that's where I'm at with the God thing, bro.
Yeah. You know the truth.
When I go to the keyboard, I can just hit random keys on this motherfucker. But it isn't until something locks in a certain way and I get a little twitch, I get a little feeling, my brain primes up, bang, I feel something. And then I go from there, and then that's how the good ideas come out. Right? That's where God, the universe, that's where the whatever fucking stops at random shit and it locks it in on something. Tunes in, bro, like a radio. We all radios in this bitch, bro. I'm on the radio, bang, bang. Psh. Was that LL Cool J, bro? I'm Bad album? Radio album.
I had some good jams. I got to give him that.
That early shit, bro.
I listen to though, like, early. Huh?
Like back in the day, in my time period, bro. If I said I want to listen to rap, like I got exposed to one thing, and it represented rap to me at a certain age, because there was no internet, there was no fucking thousands of rap artists to choose from. It was one thing, bro. It was whatever tape, whatever CD that I happened to grab, or my cousin had, and I listened to on the side. Right, that's how we experienced.
The internet watered it down, man. Everyone tries, you know. Back in the days, you had to be nice.
Well, you had to be presentable.
Everyone. Oh, yeah.
You had to be in front of people, bro.
Yep.
Like there's no reason why there shouldn't be another MTV channel happening right now that's actually doing what MTV used to do, which is play videos and have interviews and fucking blah 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 about it all day long, 24/7. That's like the most slam dunk TV idea I could think of, bro. And they don't do it. They did it and they stopped doing it. That's kind of weird, right? Think of how much control that had over, but it was happening around the thing and not being of the thing, which we have right now. AI. Yeah, they're trying to do AI.
Wow.
You got to do you, bro. You might be the last generation that gets to actually do that. What if there's no more human-made music at some point, and everything is AI? You might be the last one of the Mohicans, bro, in history ever, right?
Imagine somebody trying to dub the Wu-Tang double album 1,000 years from now. It's like lost somewhere, and somebody finds it somehow.
Well, if it's on a piece of vinyl or a CD or a cassette somewhere, there's still a chance that it's physically in somebody's face. That's it, bro. And then they can upload it to the internet, wherever the internet's at that point. Like, look at this lost fucking CD I found. It's one of the old school things. I'm from the 2020s, where everything was fucking wild. And this is what was happening. The fucking bang. That's the only thing we can do, bro. We slaves to the time period, right? History and fucking technocratic future they trying to bring in, and we sit here going, what are we gonna do with this shit? We're gonna go along to get along, or we gonna fucking make our own little. I'm trying to hang on to the 90s, bro. That's my mission.
Johnny came out at the end.
What's all about, bro?
Mic check.
Mic check 1 2.
Breaker. What's up,
yeah,
girl?
Fucking Charles sounds like shit. What's up, man?
Charles, it sounds like good, Charles. Yeah,
I'm about to jump off. As soon as I'm at the door to the store, I'm jumping off.
Yeah. All right.
You jumping back on later?
Probably.
Yeah. But I never get a notification, man. I don't know. I don't have a wrench, so I don't know if that's why or what, but
you got a wrench.
I ain't got no wrench. I ain't had a wrench in fucking a year, dude.
Go back and re-click the bell and shit.
I did that, man. But it's not just happening to me, man. It's like we're all being like mini shadow banned or some shit.
Oh, I'm definitely getting less views on even my music videos.
Yeah, I've just been going straight to, if I do any kind of live stream, I go straight to StreamYard. Yeah, I've been catching your streams, man. I've been ill in bed for about 5 days. Today's about the best I felt in, almost a week now. Just no energy, can't get out of bed, and takes every bit of energy I got just to get up and get something to drink or take a shower.
Got COVID, bro?
Man, I don't know if you want to call it COVID, but there's definitely something that's got me all the way fucked up. It's I've even been trying the mind over matter deal, will myself to feel better, and it just not working to my advantage.
Yeah, it happens though, right?
Yeah, I was thinking about your comment you made earlier, dude, about grab a surfboard, go be a beach bum. That's not real appealing to a lot of people, especially older people. But there's a lot of truth in that, and
yeah,
it's your painting, and it's your masterpiece, and the realm's your canvas, man. So
yeah, there's things you can. I mean, that's the thing, bro. Like, no matter what you're doing, if it sucks, I mean, you can fucking just say fuck this, you can drop it, and you can just move somewhere else and do anything.
No pun intended. So the realm of possibilities is limitless, as you are limitless.
Yeah, you wake up tomorrow, you're in a totally fucking alien new place and new people in your face. So everybody looks different, smells different.
Right. And I've heard you in the past, dude. I mean, it's not like we all just met here like a month or two ago. I mean, we've known each other we're going on years now, that we've been acquainted. And I remember you doing quite a bit of traveling, man. Working when you can, but look at you.
I really don't. I haven't been very far, to be honest. Like,
you've been further than a lot of others. Put it that way.
What's that?
You've been further than other people.
I'm about to jump off.
All right,
that's cool, man.
Yeah, man.
I just want to jump on, say hello to everybody, and I listen, man. A lot of times, like I said, I've been sick, so I wouldn't even comment. A little bit here and there, I might have been in touch with Dom. Dom knows I've been ill. But Groove, you ever do any streams yourself or what?
I mean, I'll turn the camera on and fucking bitch complain or talk about something.
Yeah.
Every now and then, but not really. I'm not into the.
Yeah.
Nobody watch. A couple people watch, but usually not. I don't give a shit. I just do it, bro. I don't.
Sure.
I've been on YouTube since 2006, so.
Well, for me, it's I was introduced through Phil, man. Actually, Phil's the one that kind of introduced the YouTube platform to me, really. And
all right, yo, I'm out. I'm jumping off, man. I gotta go in the store.
If you get back on, dude, I'll try to get on, dude. Like I said, rinse me up or something. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
I will.
All right, brother. Hey, much love, everybody.
Yahweh might go live. I don't know if he is, but he always goes live in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm subbed to him. Hey, Street Sauce, you live up here?
No.
Yeah, he might have stepped away.